Salió la luna para el lobo y eso les agobia. Si tú escribes en papel, papo, yo soy la momia. Drácula quiere sangre y tú eres zanahoria. No la pegues de Chucky si tú eres mi novia. Estoy matando, matando, matando. Solo dime qué fue. Pa' ti soy un Omar y repórtense. Llámame Tego Calderón porque lo maté. Y esto es pa' los criollos, también pa' los monstruos. Pa' los que están en la calle, pa' los que están en Toronto. Cuando le meten la torna es un palo, es un tronco. Cuando está con el black, si no es de a poco es en junto. Los duendes prenden cuando a mí me ven llegar. Hay un par de brujas te salieron a buscar. Yo he cambiado el juego así no lo quiero aceptar. Para que quede claro te lo voy a deletrear. B-L-A-X-I-M-E tal M-E-N-D-O-Z-I. Black y Metal Mendoza. Otra cosa, tú solo posas. Chibolo mariposa, que tú no puedes medir mi prosa. Chibolo latilla, tu pandilla es muy chistosa. Oye, ¿de qué estás hablando tú? Que esto es Halloween, somos los monstruos de Perú. Motherfucker.
Oh, óyeme, el malo Gotrón Maggi. Recuerda que pa' mí 2 más 2. Oh, me dicen ratero a la hora de rimar, porque cuando le meto tu germa saca el celular. Pero no para dármelo, ella se pone a grabar. Y antes de que te des cuenta ya quedamos pa' cachar. En el raperucho vengo siendo una eminencia. Loco que me escucha, loco que pierde paciencia. La vaina está clara, ni matemática ni ciencia. Tengo raperos que están sufriendo por mi existencia. Si mi voz te cansa, cómprate un Powerade. Que faltan 12 barras y tengo la musa en play. Tú eres el duro, ok, pero ¿pa' cuántas personas? Aunque te rías como pendejo, tu cara sigue huevona. No me mata nadie a menos que me caiga un rayo. Me tiran hating y con esa yo me callo. Me quito el nombre si solo una barra fallo. Y si te hablo tanto de culo porque la mía es de medallo. Jason con la sierra, Chucky con la navaja. Esa fusión soy yo cuando le meto el bombo y caja. Freddy con la máscara, flow, Pennywise. El Locotron Forever G, Smoking Runaway, Maggi. Óyeme, y recuerda que pa' mí 2 más 2 es 6. Entre 2 menos 1. Oye, maná, dice oye, el calentón. Bajaron las apipas Black and Yellow. Yo quiero las cadenas todas forradas de hielo. Si no son de Johnny Dan, yo no las quiero. El rey no quiere estar en el tablero, ubíquense. Y no revuelquen la vipero, estos son copyright. Ninguno de ustedes les llega a mi side. Anyway, no aguantan mi rhyme. Hablan grueso, pero cuando miran la 45 se ponen blanca. Y no es de la Street Fight. La baby quiere cachar con el más durito de la liga. Fuma el pasto, mezclar bomba y compatía. A mi Glock le puse Freddy porque es tu pesadilla. Y tengo 4 de mi Chucky montado en tronqui en el Callao. Estamos empericao, los bembos me tienen mentenso. Mi gallo toditos están armados. El corazón está bajo cero y el índice calentado. No la pega de muy guapo, te dejamos tirado. White X, Baby Paper, Frinacio, el calentón, la gana de avispa, ¿ok? Yeah. Puro delincuente, puro caliente. Pa' los soplones tenemos el click. Te paro flow liquid, los glow y los chichi. Tu flow es de lifty, lo mío el flow ficti. Wow. Tu flow es básico, estás en el ático. Tengo el plástico para el antipático, lo mato plástico. Wow. Estamos en alta, conocer la vuelta. Salimos de pesca, los puercos apretan los míos. Te suman los tuyos, te resta mi flow. Incrementa duro como aumenta los tuyos. Inventa los tuyos, apretan los míos, aprietan. Wow, wow, wow. Vamos a dejarlo ahí. El calentón. Hey, la ganga de avispa.
Oye, míralos como me mira. Míralos a ellos como nos ven. Aquí la music se respira. Y a los que dijeron que ellos no sacaban tren, ellos ya saben quién viene. El barrio sabe quién viene. Black si me escribió, quiero la dosis que tú tienes. Natural Mystic en mi ADN. Tu esquina estaba loca porque esta piedra se estrene. La esencia que te alegra, a.k.a. materia seria que se integra. Dime paisa, papá paisa, guía. El que la barra quiebra, negro celebra que en el maíz la mala vibra desintegras. Ahora valoren el color que pueden dar las ovejas negras. Let's go, ponle play. Suscríbete, comparte. Si quieres le das like. Párense firme que en la calle no existe rey ni ley. Recuerden que rapear en cualquier lado es legal. Yo ni me molesto cuando dicen que este tipo ya no está pa' esto. El arte y mi entrega puesto. Por supuesto que son libres de hablar y ponerme en contra del resto, pero a mí no me quitan el nombre, así me quiten el puesto.
Nosotros somos nosotros, motherfuckers. 1, 6, 10. Dímelo, 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 dímelo. Yeah, go, yeah.
Copyright disclaimer. This content does not belong to Bible Chronicles or claim this intellectual property. The content provided today has and always will belong to the content owner. Bible Chronicles does not have any affiliation with the owner of this property. As mentioned, Bible Chronicles did not intend to make use of any material for the purpose of harvesting gain. However, Title 17 of United States copyright law states material and use can only be done when it's for theological or general educational purposes, and thus Bible Chronicles believes that this principal material falls under fair use, which honors protection under Section 107 of the same U.S. copyright law.
Isaiah chapter 58 and verse 1. Cry aloud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgressions, and the house of Jacob their sins.
En la Plaza de Reyes, Black Sumenta, Soplón. Yeah. ¿Qué vas a saber? ¿Qué vas a saber tú? Oye, chibolito, faltóme. Pulpín de los pulpines, batería de Rapunzel, de rapeos, de raptos, de lagartos en cuartel. Cualquier la pega de cruel con un viejo coronel. Soy flojo, se me antojó dormirme en el laurel. Elevé mi level con un label y un Faber-Castell. Ya un papel, lo empape con sangre de todo aquel que se jura Nobel y no ve mis trenes en la riel. What's so man? ¿Por qué no sacan la tabue? Juro por mis aguas que no te hablo por las powers. Soy chinchano neto, búscame por Pico Sour y te voy a meter al centro loco como Beckenbauer. Escúchame atento mi pro, que estamos rompiéndole en pro. El negro de Plaza de Reyes como siempre rompe de este micrófono. Que quiere meterle como yo pero no puede meterle tacoplón. Si te pensaba que solo era un gallo, déjame decirle que se equivocó. Real motherfucker feeling on the street. Es el Black Shit, Black Sea Mental de Plaza de Kings. Motherfucker, soplón.
Nero Luigi, man, desempeña en la victoria para que sepa. Incas Mo, it's money gang, gang, yeah, yeah, Yo también he llorado, gente. También me han desplazado por mi rasgo afrodescendiente. Sí, un perro no habla pero siente. Cuento historias callejeras pa' barrios de delincuentes. Y soy un perro que te ladra, que te muerde y que te huele, nene. Soy más que Lele, ustedes para mí son pelele. Con mi jauría todo el día en busca de los cheles. Tengo un perro en fiscalía que nos mueve los papeles y otro en la comisaría para evitar el susto. Muchas veces me han llevado por solo como luzco. Perdón, madre mía, si yo le causé un disgusto, pero en esta vía yo crecí rodeado de perros chuscos. Yo sé que me quieren ganar, yo sé que me quieren tumbar y no pasará porque soy de verdad. Está súper rafina la Dodo Style, metido en latina aprendiendo un quizá. Yo tengo el style, no mido la raza del perro, yo mido por la lealtad y yo soy leal. Yeah. La calle te enseña lo que no te enseña la universidad. Yeah. Saliste ese peña aquí con una seña, te tiran para atrás. Yeah. La calle limeña aquí nadie la teña, ya nada es igual. Yeah. Tiene que respetar, yeah. Tiene que respetar. Yeah. La calle te enseña lo que no te enseña la universidad. Yeah. Saliste ese peña aquí con una seña, te tiran para atrás. Yeah. La calle limeña aquí nada le duele, ya nada es igual. Yeah. Tiene que respetar, yeah. Si yo soy tu papá, yeah, yeah, yeah. Cinco mob, negro. Yeah, Cinco mob, nigga. Yeah, Nero Luigi, man. Incas mob, yeah. It's money gang, 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 yeah.
Hey, yo. Yango en la maldita casa. Me llaman para que les dé al menos una vez al mes. Se metieron al lago y olvidaron que era el Ness. For everybody bless. La fama es una puta, me está llamando a las 3. Dile que llame después de las 16 y 25. Volví de la infancia de Abraham Lincoln. Con fuerza ya inco, luchando para salir del rincón. Letra callejera en City Brinco. Under del under, puede que tu viejo te lo mande. Sale de vez en cuando como el cóndor por los Andes. Mi cuerpo no es de madera como Dandy. Antes que me branden, yo seré la ola que los expande. Aunque esto me pique en la madera, no sirve ni para romper el ticket de un evento afuera. Loco por la carrera, desafían la gravedad. Yo espero tras la barrera y llego con la novedad. Niña, tú solo espera que ya encontré la manera. He visto bastante por querer lograrlo saltando escalones dentro de la escalera. La vida me puso al depósito, yo soy de púlpito para que el mundo conociéramos. De esta parte mejor interprete capaz de esta cordillera, sin luz afuera. Que el espectáculo es dentro, la calle es mi templo, tiembla el pavimento, cuando yo me concentro, mis disparos son temas, la calle un poema, se siente desde cuando entro. Y a toditos estos drogaditos que creen que rapean, los regreso al centro de mi balcón. Yo he visto el clon de clon en la misma gestión, pero a la malla no llega el balón, y para esta pantalla no existe patrón. Yo ya me sé la cuestión, y doy fe por cada renglón, consciente de la operación del final de Mbappé con la edad de bufón. De Young en la maldita casa, Plaza de Rey y papá, el Nero Luigi, Black Cimental, hip hop peruano. Rajo en la maldita base.
Thor viene a decirnos con mucha firmeza y gran convencimiento lo mismo que nos decía en el siglo XVIII el barón de Holbach, ¿no? Un filósofo francés de origen alemán. Si nos remontamos al comienzo, entonces hallaremos que la ignorancia y el temor crearon a los dioses. La fantasía, el entusiasmo o el engaño los adornaron o desfiguraron. La debilidad les rinde culto, la credulidad los conserva, la costumbre los respeta y la tiranía los apoya para que la ceguera de los hombres sirva a sus propios intereses.
And man, it reminds me a lot of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Anyhow, hope you all doing well, family. Hope you all doing well. Hope you all doing well. And welcome, as some of you guys like to call it, the show. Hope y'all doing all right. We got some important stuff to cover. So let's see who's here. Al, what's up, bro? Shalom. We got Experto. Man, I like saying that shit, dude. That's pretty cool. And Issachar, Ray, Shalom family, and you guys that are staying quiet. And for you that or let's say, how can I put it? Here, I'll read it on the bottom. It says here, hold on a second. Peace and blessings, familia. And for the heathen, get your pen and paper ready. Class is about to begin.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Let her know.
Right.
That's right, man. You let her know. You let her know, sis. Hey, make sure you guys do me a big fat favor. I don't ask for this much, but share, like, subscribe, whatever, however you can make the algorithm kick ass. You know what I'm saying? Because this has to be shared. So before we get going, in case I miss anything, please, family, follow. Today is going to be a very important, interesting class. You know, I do touch on a lot of different things and I throw a lot of different material in a lot of different ways. I know I do that. Today, what I wanted to do was point out three major issues, major pieces here that are important to us to understand. We must understand this if there's anything that you guys and I should know. Remember that historically speaking, without knowing what we know now, we were told that certain people came far away, civilized us, made things much better for y'all and I, and then now all of a sudden things are great. Hey, don't worry about it now. We're half white, I guess black. That's kind of what they're saying nowadays. You know what I'm saying? All right. So, but we know that that's far from the truth now. We understand that. So now what I'm going to target is three major things that were done by certain people. And yes, I'm including everybody, but remember what we keep seeing right now. Who are they using to include us, so-called Hispanics, in some doctrine of devils? BHI concept, just like Christianity wants to pacify your spirit and say, hey, don't worry about what we went through. Okay, don't worry about the fact that we fed y'all the dogs. Just focus on certain things. Well, let's begin with this here, okay? Begin with this. First, let's point out certain things that are going on between them, and then we'll begin to target other issues here that I think are important to us. All right, so let's begin. And you guys that are new to this channel, I appreciate you guys subscribing. Again, this is not a channel that is asking for any kind of incentive. This is all scriptural and historical information that I just happen to study and have found. I'm not part of a camp. I'm not part of a school. So, and I don't attest to be some kind of prophet or teacher. All I'm doing is I've experienced this and I found myself in a much better place spiritually, mentally as well. And not just saying that in a Christian effing, how can I say, effeminate way. I'm talking about being a real man of the house, being a real husband to my wife and a real father to my children. And Lord willing, a good friend to the brothers that I'm building with. That's what I'm searching for. Hopefully you guys are doing the same. So if you follow my path, hopefully it helps you out. Everything that I share, you guys need to confirm it. So let's begin. Remember, hateful Christmas Christian teachers is the point. But let's see what the experience is now. I'm going to show you scripture, and I'm not really going to leave Deuteronomy 28. I'm going to pretty much stay there and bring it to fruition, maybe unlike other people do it. I'm going to show you, because they just say where things came from, but they don't say where it really came from. Let's go.
Afraid of us, we're afraid of them. I could say we've got to change the bail laws. I could say we've got to get prosecutors better than Bragg, who's prosecuting Danny Penny for protecting people on a subway car. And, you know, Kathy Hochul, who keeps putting police in and saying, you know, that we're imagining crime in the subways when we're seeing it every day now, people shoving other people off. So we're living at a time where unless we take the bull by the horns, change the law as it relates to the bail issue, refunding the police departments, taking out the DAs who are not prosecuting these crimes, then we're all gonna be victims. It's that simple.
Jessica, you're a compassionate woman. What's going on here? 14 second chances?
No, it's too many. And if you want to look at this through the most craven lens, which I think is how most politicians do, you can look at the results of Kathy Hochul's race for governor, where Lee Zeldin got within a few points of hers in a blue state. And that should have never happened if not for the crime issue and her refusal to address it. And you look at all of the seats that Republicans picked up on Long Island, George Santos included. And that was one of the key issues that swayed it for Republicans and how they were able to take back the majority. It was slim, but
I was looking for a controller. All right, so we got a pretty idea of what's going on, right? Now, keep in mind that these are people here that are supposedly justifying the issue based on politics. Remember, okay? So now I find it interesting that what this guy said here. And I want you to pay attention to what he says at the end, all right? Let's go.
It strikes me as really irrational what's going on. Why haven't the people in charge say they've had enough? Is it because their ego refuses the ability to admit they're wrong? I don't care if they admit or they're wrong or right. Just do something. I think what's happened is they've demonized rationality by replacing that sort of thinking with this I said yesterday, delusional empathy. So any efforts based on self-defense, security, law and order is viewed as inhumane. You're not compassionate. They've undermined rational thinking, and this is deliberate. This is why when we talk about these things, they don't hear it because they don't want to hear it. This is a deliberate action. They've undermined rational thinking about law and order by saying our country is plagued by an eternal origin of white supremacy and slavery. That led to the hysteria in which we undid all common sense making about bail, arrests, prison time, basic.
Follow what he's saying. So he's making it seem as if the left, Democrats, the blue, are using white slavery history as an excuse to ease the punishment towards so-called black and brown people. Now, I'm not arguing about this. I don't care about that. I'm going to show you something. Check this out. Again, it's just the nature of these nations, and then I'll see how you'll see what's going on and what's crumbling in front of us. But at the same time, I want you to listen to what they're also doing to us. So you hear this from a certain particular campsite. For example, one camp is saying this, the right, and another camp is saying that. One is saying exclusion, the other one saying inclusion. So now you, without knowing what's going on about you, who you are, according to the Bible, you may still be wondering what you're supposed to do. Let's listen in.
Shame on those people who want to make something out of this that isn't there. They have this boogeyman philosophy, and if it's black or brown, shame on those people who want to make something out of this that isn't there. They have this boogeyman philosophy, and if it's black or brown.
Again, remember, it is about, well, let's not forget what scripturally has been told to us, principalities and powers. Okay? Keep that in mind. Let's go.
It's something that they've got a target on. Yeah. I just think that is just totally uncalled for at a time like this.
That was Maryland Congressman Kwesi Mfume last night on this very show, talking about the rampant conspiracies being hawked by the right about Tuesday's tragic bridge collapse in Baltimore. It has been a grab bag of right-wing grievances, barely coded racism, and flat-out lies. Noted Jewish space lasers and QAnon.
Hey, so now this far right, these Republicans, but they're there are very conspiracy theories, right? This shouldn't shock you. This is what they're saying. This Marjorie Taylor funky girl, right? There should be a serious investigation into the horrifying tragedy of Francis Scott Key Bridge in Maryland. Is this an international attack or an accident? Praying for the victims, survivors, and families, okay? I want you to know this, family. These dumb idiots, yes, I'm calling them dumb idiots, okay? Dumb idiots because they don't even realize who or what people died in this tragedy. Did you know that 6 of them were, well, all of them were of our gente. 6 of them were so-called Mexican, 1 Salvadoreño, 1 Honduran, and 1, I believe, Nicaragüense. Do you think this dumbass who is against our gente, right, wants crocodiles in the river, gives a shit about our people? No. This is the reason why you have to be mindful of the inclusion-exclusion game. Keep in mind what is going on, and you're going to be fed and confused and demoralized spiritually, which is why it's important to know why you are in his Bible. And the more you know that you're in this Bible, the more the strength, again, I should say, the stronger your memory of who you were will become, will grow. I'm telling you, family. Let's listen into this a little bit more.
Intentional attack, perhaps by the space lasers. But the most idiotic and racist theories had to do with their newest boogeyman, diversity, equity, and inclusion, DEI. A Republican congressional candidate in Florida tweeted that DEI did this. And a right-wing blue check account that's been boosted by Elon Musk in the past just blew straight past the dog whistling, tweeting to its 276,000.
This guy made a comment, and he says, this is Baltimore's DEI mayor commentating on the collapsed Francis Scott Bridge. It's going to get so much worse. Prepare accordingly. Okay, so this is what supposedly they're saying. Let's dabble into this real quick. Let me just say this real quick. Mexicans, 6 Hispanics on the bridge die. Just to say that, right? So see this right here? Okay. Before these sons of bitches, I'm going to say this because you assholes don't give a shit. I'm sorry. Hey, listen, I don't care if you don't like my way of talking. I don't care. But you assholes, you sons of bitches, don't give a shit about our gente. It was these guys that were actually dying. Who does the work at midnight, at 3 a.m? It was them doing the work that you sucker, lazy-ass bums, white and black too, both of you. I'm talking to both of you. Love to vote against our gente. They're the ones that are working these potholes that you guys are too lazy to do. They're the ones that died. Baltimore Bridge collapse victims' family members reflect on their loved ones' lives. Marjorie Taylor, you think your stupid ass really cares? You don't give a shit. You don't care. Look, 2 of the 6 men, here, let me magnify it here. You guys need to know this. And again, I don't care if you guys like it or you don't. You know what? In this channel, it doesn't even grow because whether you don't like truth or the algorithm, I don't care about the excuse of the algorithm. The fact is that you want Christianity or inclusion. You don't want facts. And you're afraid to call certain people out for what they've done. So 2 of the 6 men presumed dead in the collapse of Francis in Baltimore were remembered by loved ones as devoted husbands, fathers, workers who were simply trying to improve their lot in life. He gave us strength for everything. Norma Suazo, sister of Maynard Suazo, member of the construction crew that had been repairing potholes on the bridge when it was struck by a container ship early Tuesday. He fought day after day for our family to get ahead. He looked for a way to make a living. Norma told Noticias Telemundo. You come to this country to accomplish your dreams, and for a tragedy like this to happen to us, can you imagine? I can. The nerve of these people. This is why I find this so interesting. Job 9:24 reminded us, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Who covers the faces of the judges thereof? If not, where and who is it? Basically saying, who is this? Who is this individual? Who is this individual? You know what I'm saying? That's the question. So check this out. I'm going to tell you something, and I'm going to show you. Daniel 4, verse 17. It says, this matter is by decree of the watchers and demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know what the Most High ruleth, that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men. Now, so the watchers, I guess you could say, in a matter of messengers, we are here to point certain things out. We're letting you brothers know. I got you real quick, Guaracayu. Letting you brothers know this. And give it to whomever he will. and set it up over it the bases of men. Let me clarify this. He's saying this is the decision of the alert and watchful angels. So then let all people everywhere know that the supreme God has power over human kingdoms and that he can give them to anyone he chooses, even those that are least important, or for lack of better words, I guess, they wanted to be kind, for the dumbest sons of biatches in the entire world. In the entire world. So these people that you see talking, these talking heads, these are the bases of men. This is the only reason why they conquered this land. It ain't because they're powerful. And I'm going to show you the wickedness of these people. The wickedness of these people. And why it's important to remember who you are and to strengthen your spirit. Or else people will walk over you and will basically confuse you if you don't know. So let's begin in Deuteronomy 28, because a lot of people can sit here and tell you, yeah, we're part of the... Okay, well, let's break it down, because I'm going to show you some historical facts. Really bring out these scriptures to show you how you are in here. Deuteronomy 28 and 20, and I'm going to explain how the first that we are physically attacked, right? And then you could say spiritually attacked, right? And then you could say mentally attacked, okay? So check this out. The Lord shall send upon thee cursings, vexations, and rebuke. Here, I'll read it with the Sefer. I'm kind of new to this, so let me just read it this way. The Lord, Yahoo, shall send upon you cursing, vexation, and rebuke in all that you set your hands on for to do, until you be destroyed, meaning diminished, okay? And until you perish quickly. Now, keep in mind, who has this happened to? We know now from, I'll show you this real quick. Why not? I might as well. We know now that from, let me see, hold on. Can I find it here? Give me a second. Let me see if I can find it. We know that the diminishing was very obvious. And I have shared many times this book here, right? This book here. It talks about the Holocaust and the denial of it. You know what I'm saying? So we know that Deuteronomy 28 and 20 says, and until you perish quickly. So let's break this down. Who perished quickly in this land? Or who didn't perish in this land? Those that claim that they're the people of the book, I wonder, did you perish quickly? Or have you ever been known to perish quickly? No, never have you been known to perish quickly. And we know for a fact that you and I think several people, I mean, even the most lamest ones, right? Even the most less expected to know history about, like, you know, us, right? Or what occurred to us. So remember what it's been said. And I'll probably remember to hear this later. The bigger the lie, the greater the likelihood that it would be delivered. This is from a book called A Little Matter of Genocide. Let me show you. Holocaust and the denial in the Americas, 1492 to the present. And it's a true denial by Ward Churchill. It is a very true denial because they never actually mention any of this. They think it's called manifest destiny. Yeah, this horrific experience of ours. So now, but let's target the important parts here, because we know that it says here during the 4th century, spanning the time between 1492 when Christopher Culo first set foot on the New World, so-called New World, or I should say when they had a mentality of becoming a New World Order here, of a Caribbean beach. And 1842, 400 years later, 1892, sorry, when the Census Bureau concluded that there were fewer than 250,000 indigenous people surviving within the country's claimed boundaries. A hemispheric population estimated to have been as great as 125 million was reduced by something to over 90%. Once again, until you perish quickly. Now, how? I'm sorry, let me finish it. Because of the wickedness of your doings and whereby you have forsaken. We'll get into that in a bit. So now, how and what else what other ways would you or I be experiencing, and I say that in a very deep matter, but let's just say that like Ecclesiastes said, there's nothing new under the sun. So you've experienced it yourself. So now, let me remind you first what was one of the things that the Most High was going to do with cursing, vexation, and rebuke. And until thou be destroyed, and until thou perish quickly. So apparently, the Most High was going to allow these base-ass dummies. Hold on, let me pause real quick. Let me go here real quick. Yes, sir, here. Let me just take this real quick. Tiakara Ya Ishiyahu, just now coming in. All cool, bro. That's good. American policies is just like a boxing multi-match, red corner. Yeah, that's it. Entertainment. Keeping you right in the mind. Marjorie Taylor's kids may be rich, spoiled brats like all these inherited wealthy, lazy-ass children. I'm sure they are. Shalom, bro. I'm sure they are. So, again, the Most High was going to use these base men, and that's why he used them, because these base men have no spirit. They're willing to see, for example, the laws that are being passed, they have no compassion. People, why would you try to pass laws where people can cut their hands? Children crossing the river, drowning, young kids. You want to think about, or have you put alligators in rivers? Like the thought process, oh, let's just shoot them. You see, those are base men and women as well, like Marjorie Taylor. So let's continue. And I challenge any of you so-called politicians or whatever you guys are into, Christians, to come and debate me. I'll let you hit the link. But let's continue. I will also send wild beasts among you, which shall rob you of your children. So now, beast can be translated in two methods: men and actual animals. Right now, we're going to show about the animal part. And I'll show you what it also means by beast and confirming it with scripture, precept upon precept. I will also send you wild beasts among you, which shall rob you of your children, and destroy your cattle, and make you few in numbers, and your highways shall be desolate. That's a pretty deep thing. So let's touch it now, as a matter of fact. Wild beast. What are these wild beasts going to do? Who are these wild beasts? Are we talking about as animals? Not necessarily. It's a combination of both. Ecclesiastes 3:18. Write this down. Precept this to that scripture. I said in my heart, concerning the state of the sons of the men, that God might manifest them, that they might see that they themselves are beast. So you guys are beast. You think like beast. And you destroy animals like yourselves. That's why you have no compassion. For that which befalleth the sons of men befalleth beasts. Even one thing befalleth them. As one dieth, so dieth the other. Meaning you're no different in your mentality and your spirit. They have all one breath, so that a man hath no preeminence over a beast. For all is vanity. Yet you slaughter, process animals for the sake of wealth. You are a beast. So these people, okay, would be coming with particular things. So the Most High now is saying, listen, I'm going to send these people, wild beasts among you, that will rob you of your children. Deuteronomy 28:25. What are they going to do as well? The Lord shall cause thee to be smitten before thine enemies. And thou shalt go one way against them, and flee 7 ways before them. and thou shalt be removed and unto all the kingdoms of the earth. Now, this is one thing we call global Indios, the book I've showed with y'all, how we've been scattered everywhere as well. But the important part is here. We're focusing on three things: animals, smallpox, and religion. The Lord shall cause thee to be smitten before thine enemies, and thou shalt go out one way against them and flee 7 ways before them. So when you read that, you're like, what the hell? How and why would we run like 7 ways? How can they be that scary? What are they, that tough? They can't be that tough. I'll show you something. When you are looking in the eyes of a destructive soul or no soul, you realize what you're running into. Okay, this is from the American Holocaust. Excellent book, Columbus and the Conquest of the New World. Let me borrow the book again. We are seeing now how he would use beast that would use beast. Come on, man, hurry up. Give me a second. I don't know what the delay is here. Hurry up, bro. What the hell? Give me a second, family. Oh, wow. Sons of bitches. Can you believe this, fam? Look. Is that the devil or what? Wow. That's amazing. Now, I wasn't intending to use this other material. No wonder. This is not going to be cool. So, let me see what else I can do. We know from the... Here, matter of fact, I'll do it this way. Oh, Mayor, hold on. Here, I'll find it like this. Let me find it like this. I think can stop me. I'll get the PDF. All right, let's do the preview. Let's go. All right, so we see here. Now we're going to get dogs. Oh, man. So now we're going to get dogs. So as you can see, now that's why I wanted to show this part to you. Again, this is from the book called American Holocaust. Check this out. All right, remember how the Most High would use the bases of men. Now, you need people with that mentality, that wickedness, that not, excuse my language, that not give a fuck about nobody. You, your abuelita, your abuelito, your kids, your baby little girl, your 2-year-old baby, your 3-month-old baby. They come in, don't give a damn about you. Keep that in mind. That's exactly what it's saying. Oh, I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings. I'm so sorry if I hurt your feelings. I love it, man. I love it when people just blast out, bro. Hey, it is what it is. Remember, last class, they almost took it off. So these are for the people that are supposed to hear. Now, one favorite sport of the conquistador was dogging. Traveling as they did with packs of armored wolfhounds and mastiffs that were raised on a diet of human flesh and were trained to disembowel Indians. The Spanish used the dogs to terrorize slaves and to entertain the troops. The entire book, Dogs of Conquest, which is what I have here, right? And apparently, Internet Archives or archive, whatever, is down. So I may not be able to show you everything. But I do have the book, so if I need to take a picture, I will. It says here, Dogs of Conquest has been published recently, detailing the exploits of these animals as they were accompanied by their masters through out of the house of the Spanish depredation. A properly fleshed dog, these authors say, could pursue a savage as zealously and effectively as a deer and a boar. So now you understand why you could see that thou shalt go out one way against them and flee 7 ways before them. Because when you confront an animal like that, what would you do? To many of the conquerors, the Indians were merely another savage animal. Let that sink in. You that are watching, you 6 individuals, appreciate that, or 4, whatever you guys are, 5. Let that sink in. You know, I'm gonna say this to you, and it's not out of jealousy or anything. It's disappointment. I'm gonna share this with you guys, man. A lot of these channels, man, Christian channels, all of these theoretical concepts, and the new world is, or the old world is here, all this stupid shit. You know what I'm saying? You worry about all that stuff, but the real things that matter, you guys don't give a shit. You want drama, you want something enticing. Oh, the old world is here, or no, it's like we're somebody. Keep it simple, stupid, man. A lot of you guys that are young and you think you know some shit, I would suggest, and I'll say with respect, but I'll tell you the truth, shut the fuck up. Learn to shut the fuck up. If you guys are young kids, don't know your history, and you're barely figuring it out, just shut up. You don't know who you are just yet. You're still a babe, and you're still trying to dig roots in that dirt that you have all fucked up from all the past. These are facts. The reason I'm speaking this way is because this matters to me. Do you understand what you're going up against when you see the dogs would be an extreme terror to Indians? Why do you think verse 26 says this? And thy carcasses shall be meat unto all fowls of the air and unto the beasts of the earth, and no man shall fray them away. So you'll be food for them. Obviously, the dogs ain't going to eat your whole entire body. You think this was fun? Imagine what our people went through seeing this. Imagine somebody taking your child from you and feeding that child to the dog right here. And you're seeing this child of yours, this love of yours that you hug every day. Maybe you're the mom, sis, if you're watching, sisters, you're watching, you're breastfeeding this child every single day. Okay? And all of a sudden, you're seeing this right here, this heathen, black or white, conquistador, whatever this one was, feeding your child to the dogs. As the Spaniards went with their war dogs hunting down Indian men and women, it happened that a sick Indian woman who could not escape from the dogs sought to avoid being torn apart by them. In this fashion, she took a cord and tied her 1-year-old child to her leg. And then she hanged herself from a beam. But the dogs came and tore the child apart before the creature expired. However, a fire baptized it. Oh, really? Among the dogs the Spanish brought with them was a greyhound named Bruno, the favorite of Soto, and a dog celebrated among the Spanish for an ability to track down Indians and tear them into pieces. Again, dogs of conquest. I wish this was working, but it's not. So I wanted to touch on this, not about it. So let me kind of read it before they close it. Dogs of Conquest is basically the book that they're referring to. Matter of fact, at least it's working. So let's kind of see if it continues. All right. Let the Lord have faith in the Most High. Maybe He'll let us use it. You see here also, well, matter of fact, look. Not about this. It's not in here. Okay. That's cool. No worries. See 45 results. Let's look at this one. The dogs, this is on page 241. The dogs would be an extreme terror to Indians. Dogs would do a great deal of execution upon the enemy and catch many an Indian that would be too light of foot for us. Kind of like this right here. You see, let me read this for you, brother. You see, man, I don't know about you guys, bro, but I do give a shit. You know what I'm saying? I do give a shit. And maybe you guys don't give a shit, but I do give a shit. And if anybody wants to come online, at least maybe join here. You know, I don't know if you want to say something or maybe you think we're wrong. Well, hit the fucking link. Because I'm sick and tired of seeing our people just being blatantly ignored and taught the wrong thing and not being brought to the understanding of what actually happened to us. No. You guys are secondary. And every one of these BHI rooms, you're not gonna get this information. I guarantee you. Prove me wrong, man. Tell me one channel that's saying, yeah, you're wrong, man. You're wrong, man. You're wrong, bro. There's this channel that's bringing. Nah, nobody gives a shit about you guys. They're bringing out their own little so-called theory, and now they're support you guys, your own raza, embracing Wabanism. Like what? But for real, man, dumbass, just dumbasses, bro. Show you something real quick. Where are you at? Oh, I know what. I'll show you this real quick. Man, maybe that's why you guys left, because I started cussing, huh? You guys probably think I'm... you sensitive fools. Whatever, man. Just unsubscribe. Do me a favor. Seriously, just unsubscribe. I'm being serious, man. We don't need y'all here. Because you know what? Our gente has experienced this stuff. Those right there. Dogs would be an extreme terror to Indians. Dogs would do a great deal of execution upon the enemy and catch many Indian that would be too light of a foot for us. So here's an example, too light of a foot for us. Here's also an example of what that means. Deuteronomy 28:25. Again, the Lord shall cause thee to be smitten before thine enemies. Thou shalt go out one way against them and flee 7 ways before them. Why is that? Well, here's one example. Check it out. We're getting a concept here of our gente running, avoiding. Why? Look what's chasing them. Let's go. Those are facts right there. That's what really happens when you visualize it and read it. Then turning from his equating of native men and women and children to with bears deserving to be hunted down and destroyed, Stoddard became more conventional in his imagery. If the Indians were as other people, it might be looked upon as inhumane to pursue them in such a manner. But in fact, the Indians were wolves and are to be dealt with all as wolves. You see what I mean? See what I'm saying? You think this is funny? I don't think this is funny at all. So when dumbass wobbles want to claim the fame, this is what you're spitting at, you dumb Africans. Because that's what you're saying. This is what you're spitting at. As if we, our sisters, didn't experience this, like our abuelitas as well. And it was you guys that actually had this particular advantage. This is just one example. Again, we have also what's called Narvaez. Who is this guy here? Well, Pánfilo de Narvaez and Nuño Beltrán, who appropriately the same time had been commissioned to explore and conquer respectively Florida and Panuca, had proceeded on their adventures with varied results. Why is he in this book? Because he was a major user of dogs, of the dogs. Page, I believe, 98. And by the way, this book is not cheap. So I do have it. Dogs of Conquest. I didn't realize that it was gonna be, not available like that. Let's go to Amazon, I guess, maybe. It's not cheap. Decent price. So they don't have it available, but it's about $490. Okay? Supposedly, if you go to, let's say, we'll go to, where you at? AB Books. And you go in here, just kind of showing you. It's a reason why this book is not cheap. Dogs of Conquest. They don't have it available. Interesting. I'm not sure why. But as you can see, it's kind of priced out right there. Hardcover $4.95. So it's a bit of an important material here because you have some historical facts here. Pánfilo de Narvaez had been commissioned to explore Florida in 1526. The same year, Guzman had gone into Panuco and Montejo to Yucatan. Narvaez's experiences in the New World had begun in the close of the 15th century in Hispaniola. He accompanied Juan Esquivel to Jamaica and then joined Diego Velázquez, whom Narvaez had known in Cuba. Disembarking his men, Narvaez, against the advice of Cabezas, sent all ships back to Cuba for supplies and began long march inland in the province of Paleche. Narvaez fought and defeated a race of exceedingly large Indians. He made peace with their chieftain, the cacique Iriguia, but then, for no apparent reason, cut off Iriguia's nose and permitted dogs to attack and devour the chieftain's mother. Who are you? If you don't know your history, then you won't know that it's right there in front of you. Ezekiel 23:25. Watch what it says here. And I will set my jealousy against thee, and they shall deal furiously with thee. They shall take away thy nose and thine ears. See? He made peace with their chieftain, but then out of nowhere, no apparent reason, cut off his nose and permitted the beast to devour him. This is a black man. A dog had helped arouse this turmoil in Apalache, But soon the dogs of Narvaez expedition, like the horses, finished their days in the tortured stomachs of their masters. At least Narvaez sailed with the remnant of his armada into shipwrecks and oblivion. Talking about some experiences that they hunted into, right? Check this out. So it's like just covering his, it's pretty quick. Okay, here we go. Okay, good. It's not blocking it. So he's in here as well. Hold on, let me go back. Let's see. Let me go here. Where's Narvaez again? Check this out. If it wasn't because of the possibility of me losing the book, because you know what it says supposedly is not working, I'm trying not to look for more things. And I don't want to spend time taking pictures, family, because then I'd make you wait. The point being is, this is a man that had a lot of power when he came with these conquistadors. So in this book, Dogs of Conquest, you'll see it. Page 98, 99, 105, 206, 207, 20, Exploration, page 87, 93, and 108. Why is he in here? Because he is significant. Okay? So now let me show you something. This is why all of these things matter. Why you need to know your history. Bottom line, you need to know your history. Because if you don't know your history, then guess what? Somebody may take it from you. Okay? So let me show you this real quick. Just so you can see. This is from let's see here. This is from the 7 Myths of the Spanish Conquest. It's talking about the African conquistadors. Okay. Check this out. I believe this is page 141, maybe? No, sorry, 24. So page 24 says this. The sixth aspect of the conquest procedure was the use of display violence or theatrical use of violence. Despite the assistance of native allies and the use of African auxiliaries, Spanish-led forces often maintained outnumbered and seriously threatened by native peoples whose land were they invading. Okay? It says, despite evidence of numerous massacres by the Spanish and routine enslavement of the semi-nomadic. So you see that? Despite evidence of numerous massacres by the Spaniards and the routine enslavement of the semi-nomadic peoples of the Caribbean and Central America, for the most part, the Spaniards did not seek to decimate or enslave natives, but rather to subdue and exploit them as more or less compliant labor forces, right? So that's what they wanted. But then check this out. That's not what some of these people did. So that's why you have to understand, who were these theatrical, insane people that were chopping us and that were feeding us the dogs? Was it both of them, or who was really more pushing this? The theatrical and terrorizing techniques appear again and again in the records of conquest expeditions. This includes the severing of the right hands and sometimes the arms of the native prisoners, often by hundreds, the killing of women, and if necessary, sending the corpse home, the mutilation and killing of selective Indians, individuals, most typically by fire and by setting mastiffs on them. This is the book on the African black conquistadors, okay? Don't get confused. Do not get confused. So check this out. Another technique was the massacre of unarmed natives, whose effects was magnified if women, children, and elderly were killed, or if the victims were celebrants in the important native festivals or rituals, or if the victims were confined by space or crowded tightly together, right? As in John Ogilvy put it in 1670, Spanish expeditions advanced with fear conquering more than slaughter. If these examples use terror more than theater, more theatrical tactics and techniques were intended to confuse or impress. These included the attacking of bells to horses, the sounding of trumpets, yada, 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 yada. You see here the beginning of, again, the beast, right? We see here quite often how the Most High was going to allow these people to attack us in this certain way. Let me show you this particular page over here. It's same book, page 168. The killing of Inca women, as well as torture by fire and dogs, was used during the siege of Cusco. This is the book, Siege of Cusco, 1998. Cortez usually refers to a similar action in letter 1896, I guess, reprinted. A practice commonly associated with the Inquisition but frequently used as display violence technique by conquistadors was the public burning alive of native lords. One infamous example in Alvarado's burning of Quichemaya. You guys can see that. So these are pages in this book right here. 7 Myths of Spanish Conquest. It's talking about black conquistadors. Don't let that confuse you. Both of these people did these things, not just one. And it doesn't really matter, I guess, at this point, who was more wicked than the other, right? Does it even matter at this point? They were both wicked as hell. Wicked ass bastards, that's what I say. Let me see if I can find this page. Here it goes. Page 140 from the same book. Pay attention. In the final section of chapter 1, I shall suggest 5 factors that in combination better explain the conquest outcome. Okay? So he's talking about that. And he's talking about the Pandora's box. Because once you start opening up this book, you start seeing that, man, there's a lot of some serious history that's been hidden away from us for quite some time. You know what I'm saying? So it says here, the conquistadors had 2 great allies, without which the conquest would have not taken place. One of which was the disease. The disease. You see this now. Now we start seeing something different, correct? I'm not going to take you guys there just yet. I want to cover all my bases here. Let's see. Is this it? Let me see. Hold on a second. No, this is not it. Let me go back. I don't want to miss anything. All right, family? Let me just confirm. Why would it be in page 140? Okay, so it's 142. Check this out. Page 142. Okay? Because I thought I had page 141. I thought I took that down. I thought I did, man. Hold on. Give me a second, family. Let me just kind of cover my bases real quick. I don't want to miss anything. All right, we got that. Maybe I didn't write it down. My phone died, so oh well. It is what it is, man. We get what we can get. All right. So let's see here. Page 140. Yeah, I guess I missed 140. There it goes right there. Here it goes. 142. Come on, bro. Get together. Sorry, my bad, fam. I got a little confused here. Trying to look for this page, and there it goes. Page 142. Let's continue with the war dogs. And I'm just going to touch on a few things. The third world evidence factors that helped to explain the conquest outcome is weaponry. Much had been made of 5 military advantages that the Spanish allegedly enjoyed: guns, steel, horses, and war dogs. Okay? They used pikes, horses, obviously. Nevertheless, it seems clear that guns, horses, and mastiffs were a minor factor, so to speak. Horses and dogs were a limited supply. The Indians greatly fear the horses and the harquebus, but fear the dog. But he fears the dog more. But otherwise offers no evidence in his 8-volume Conquest History of the Military Utility of Dogs. So we see here a constant use of dogs. You see, this is a history that we didn't really know about. Nobody really told us that there was dogs involved. And why? This is why it's a Pandora's box. Why are these people all of a sudden going to say and admit? You see, this is why I laugh at these so-called Americans, quote unquote, because you guys are not. You're Europeans, you're foreigners. You have absolutely no knowledge of who you are. You're a mixture of a bunch of shit. You're half Italian, half Irish, half German. You don't know what you are anymore. That's why you can only hold on to the so-called concept of American. That's why. But see, me personally, I laugh at them when they say they don't want to be reminded of what they've done, but they always want to remind us of what they've achieved. Pretty stupid, you know? So now, let me see if I could let me see if I'm not missing anything. Okay, hold on. Sorry, I'm doing that, family. Just give me a second here. Oh, I don't think I'm missing anything. Hold on, let me go up here real quick just in case. All right, let me touch on this real quick. Give me a second. All right. Some of these pages, I was looking to see where I got them from, and forgive me if I cannot completely show you. I wish I could, to be honest, family. I can't remember some of these books where I actually got them from. But you see, in this book here called well, I don't. It's a chapter, or at least under a section of an arithmetic of progression. If you guys take a picture of it, and I'm sure that if you copy and paste some of the wording, it may help you find somebody referencing this book, which then can help you find the book. But here it talks about during Hernan Cortez on page 103, conquers of Mexico, an expedition led by Pánfilo de Narvaez landed on April 23rd near what is today Veracruz. According to several, the force included an African name. Okay, we'll talk about that in a bit. So I'm not forgetting anything here. Let's see. Okay, good. Let's continue. Let's continue. So now we're getting an idea of how the scriptures are clearly telling you guys what could occur, what was going to occur. And that Ezekiel 22:25, again, I will set my jealousy against thee and shall deal furiously with thee. They shall take away thy nose and thine ears, and the remnant shall fall by the sword. They shall take away thy sons and thy daughters, and thy residue shall be devoured by the fire. Didn't it say that the women and children were burned by fire and were given to the animals? It's nothing to cheer about, to be honest. Deuteronomy 28:22, and now it's moving on to something else. First it starts with the beast, but now we see another chemical attack. Deuteronomy 28:22, the Lord shall smite thee with the consumption, and with the fever, and with inflammation, and with an extreme burning, and with the sword, and with the blasting, and with the mildew, and they shall pursue thee until thou perish. Now we read already that about 125 mil, came down to 90% of destruction. Remember that, right? Remember that. So we see also that we could destroyed also by the what? The sword, the blasting. We saw that. But here we're also mentioning specifically smallpox. This is the first example of smallpox. Leviticus 26:25. You'll find that in here too. Write these things down, family. And I will bring a sword upon you, and shall avenge the quarrel of my covenant. And when ye are gathered together within your cities, I will send pestilence among you, and ye shall be delivered into the hands of the enemy. Why? Because ain't no one going to help you, so you can only rely on them. Where else do we see this right here? Deuteronomy 28:60. Watch this real quick. Moreover, he will bring upon thee all the diseases of Egypt, which thou was afraid of, and they shall cleave unto thee. So now you're like, okay, we read that. When you read that, how do you know what it means if you don't even know that it historically is speaking of something that should matter to you? If it doesn't matter to you now, Oh, my bad. It should matter. Check this out. Somebody sent this, and I guess I took advantage of it. Said, well, I might as well save it because they were trying to justify some dumbass argument. Origin of smallpox. The origin of smallpox is unknown. The findings of smallpox, like rashes on Egyptian mummies, suggest that smallpox had existed for at least 3,000 years. The earliest written description of a disease like smallpox appeared in China in the 4th century. Earlier written description also appeared in India in the 7th century and in Asia Minor in the 10th century. Do you realize that I showed you and explained to you the migration? But more importantly, he talks about Egypt. And here we see that the Most High said he's going to bring that upon us. The fear of Egypt, right? The fear of Egypt. That's why this particular part here, where are you? Let me see. Give me a second. No, I'm not. No, come on, hold on. No. Sorry. Let me go back here real quick. Okay. Give me a second, family. I'm looking for a page here real quick. There it goes. Check this out. I'm going to read it pretty quickly, okay? It says here, they died by the scores and hundreds, recalled one witness to the 1565 outbreak. Villages were depopulated. Corpses were scattered over the fields and piled up into whorehouses and huts. The fields were uncultivated, the herds unattended, and the price of food rose to such an extent that many persons found it beyond their reach. See, because our gente was the one feeding them. They escaped the foul disease, but only to be wasted by famine. You see what I'm talking about? The Tawantinsuyu was invaded by other European pestilence, to which the Indians were equally susceptible. Typhus, probably in 1546, influenza in 58, together with smallpox, diphtheria in 1614, measles in 1618, as flints in the remains of Inca culture. You see, these were dirty bastards, both black and white. That's just a fact. Dobbins was not the first to arrive to this horrific conclusion, but he was the first to put it together with the fact that smallpox visited before anyone in South America had even seen in Europeans, most likely. Right? Check this out. Source of virus. Dobbin realized was the Caribbean. Smallpox was recorded to have appeared in the island of Hispaniola in November or December 1518. So you see, metaphorically speaking, you dumbasses that celebrate these holidays on November and December, you're celebrating the death of your own gente. That's how dumb you guys are. You have no love for your people, the experience, the unfortunate. Like, think about it, man. You have a family, you raise your kids, your mom, your dad, whatever. Let's say you live with them, and you're seeing them die at the disease. Like, you're experiencing it. You know what I'm saying? This is not a joke, man. It's not a joke. It killed a third of the native population before jumping to Puerto Rico and Cuba. Now, again, what did the scriptures talk about? Until thou be perished. What other nation has gone through this? No other nation. Not black people. Hit the link and show me where. Definitely not white people. Or maybe a group of Africans. Yeah, it's true. But that's it. We're talking about a decimation of a nation. So don't be stupid, though. Don't play stupid with me. Hey, I have the link right there. I posted the link. You guys think that I'm off? Well, tell me. Tell me that I'm off. Black and white folks brought this disease to us. And black and white folks purposely gave it to us. During Hernan Cortez, the conquest of Mexico, an expedition led by Pánfilo Narváez. This is why I was saying Narváez. Who the fuck is Narváez? Landed on April 23rd in 1520, near what is today the city of Veracruz. According to several accounts, the force included an African named Francisco Ejuya, or Baguya, who had smallpox. Other reports says that the carriers were Cuban Indians whom Narvaez had brought as auxiliaries. Bullshit, because if that was the case, then we all would have died from our own diseases. Or we wouldn't have died because we would have been immune to it. Hello? In any case, someone brought the virus and infected the hemisphere. The disease raised to Tenochtitlan, leading city of Mexica, where it laid waste to the metropolis and then the rest of the empire. From there, Dobbins discovered colonial accounts showing smallpox hopscotching through the Central America to Panama. This was a plague, kind of like the movie from Egypt. Remember the plague from the movie Egypt? What's it called? What's that movie called? Family. What's that cartoon called? With Moses, let my people go. Damn, man, what's it called? You guys know the name of that cartoon? You know, the one from Moses and stuff. By the way, I'm watching you guys. I'm just trying to get through this, all right? Sis and brothers, man, I appreciate you guys, dude. Don't think that I'm not watching. I just want to get through the class. This is 11. It's 10:50, and I'm gonna be here a little late, so I don't. You guys can hang around. I'm not gonna go. It's all about 1 p.m. I'm heading out again to another 16 hours. Yeah, man. Yeah, it's 10:50 right now. It's funny, man. We were just having the same thought. Hey, I'll stick around, bro. I'm gonna go another hour, bro. Don't even trip. Yeah, I know. Listen, bro. Be safe out there, my brother. Okay. We already know that 6 of our brothers were in extreme danger working these type of jobs that white or black folks aren't gonna do. You know what I'm saying? And we get no credit for it. Not at all to this very day. Not at all. No. Matter of fact, I'm gonna show you how we still are supposedly smallpox contaminators. Yeah. Anyhow, it says here. Then Dobbins went further. When microbes arrived in West Hemisphere. Yeah, it's 1:50. Hey, man, I'm gonna be here for a while, man. So stick around. It's gonna be a late class. I already told my wife, I'm gonna be a little bit late to home. So I want to do this class. This is a class that I really care about. I love Deuteronomy 28 because I could break it down bit by bit. That's why I challenge any BHI to hit the freaking link and tell me that you are the people of this book. I will not leave Deuteronomy 28, and I'll show you how you're not the people of this book. With all due respect. Not! Anyways, as a result, Dobbins said, as a colonial population estimates were too low. Many of them put together just as epidemics, after the epidemics, would have represented population naders, not approximations of pre-contact numbers. From a few incidents in which were before or after totals are known, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, Dobbins calculated that in the first 130 years of contact, about 95% of the people in America died. Moreover, he will bring upon thee all the disease of Egypt, which thou was afraid of, and they shall cleave unto thee. Deuteronomy 28:60. It's a very significant scripture in a very significant chapter. Deuteronomy 22. Watch this. 28:22. The Lord shall smite thee with consumption and with fever and with the inflammation. If you guys had viruela, you know what I'm saying? Or like smallpox, you know that this happens. The itch, all of that shit, the extreme burning. You know that burns, man. That burns. Heavy duty burning, man. Check this out. I'm going to go from the top now. Actually, no, let me go from the bottom. Make sure I don't lose anything. This is from the promised, the lost tribes in the promised land. All of you so-called scholars that say you read, well, you obviously missed this shit, dumbasses. You say you're experts. Well, how come you didn't show this to us? Estevancico was undoubtedly, page 169 from the promised land. Estevancico was undoubtedly not the only black slave to have come along with the expedition. Indeed, we know for a fact that when Narvaez, you see how that comes again, had come to Mexico in 1520, Narvaez was a Negro. What's up, Mr. Nate the Snake? What up, Captain Taserface? What are you going to tell me now, GMS or Sakari? Oh, it was just one black conquistador? Is that your excuse? One of them, I'm sorry. attending to bring Cortez to the knees, a number of black servants had accompanied his army. He was black. They were black. You think they were cool? Of course they were cool with each other, bro. Come on, man. One of them, Narvaez's personal slave. You see how black folks were enslaving themselves? That's why in jail, they called them mayates, because you guys do that. You do supremacy over each other. You don't have no love for yourselves. It's a spiritual thing. Listen, I'm using your logic. You judge the white nation, not individually, as a nation, collectively. So what I'm doing is I'm using your logic. I'm looking at you as a nation collectively, and you guys are very much like this. Number one abortion, number one single parenting, number one murder rate, number one dose, second in applications for EBT, second in applications for welfare assistance, but number one in asking for reparations. I'm not going to let you go. I'm going to tell you the truth because this is how you guys judge nations. You call us Mongols. Well, guess what? I'm going to throw it right back at you. This can be read. Now, you can call it what you want, but I'm proving to you who we really are. You can't do the same. This can be read, and y'all crackers either can't do it. This can be read as a racial slander. Yes, that's right. I just did that because you guys do it to me all the time. And that's for a real form of cosmic revenge by the victims against the entire New World seen in captivity, directed against white men and Indians. You see? Maybe that's where they're trying to get back at us. Alike a plague on both of their houses. Bernal Diaz tells of another Negro in Narvaez's Mexican expeditionary forces, a jester named Guidela, who went over to Cortez's side along with most of the white troops in it. You see that? We just confirmed. Tag team back again. Check, get a record. Let's begin. Party on, party people. Let's make some noise. You see this? What I'm saying? You guys are really in it to win it together. Stop lying to yourselves. You can't fool. Hey, fool me once, shame on me. I mean, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me, family. Come on, wake the fuck up. It says here, one doubts whether he was rewarded for his gesture with his freedom. One does not hear of black slaves in the New World obtaining their freedom within organized society during the period. The only perceptible quantity of free blacks were runaways, supposedly, the cimarrones, right? The so-called, because they tend to live in rebel bands and fastnesses of mountaintops and cimas in Spanish. So you can actually read that in what's called the Black Indians. Yeah, you can actually read that. It's kind of true what they're saying. But again, I'm only trying to prove a point. So let's continue. Okay? We're talking about smallpox, right? Talking about smallpox. Okay. Here we see on the 7 myths, talking about the Spanish conquistadors, black and white. Page 141 says, smallpox seems to have been prime culprit. Sudden epidemic had immediate impacts on the invasion of the Mexicas and Incas Empire. When Prescott put the fall of Tenochtitlan down to the causes more potent than those of human agency, he was in the way correct. The Mexica capital fell not by the force of Spanish arms, but to disease and plague. Who brought that disease? The Negro. Smallpox seemed to have been the prime culprit. The African brought it, not the white man necessarily. They brought other diseases. Yes, the white man brought other diseases, but the black man, the African from West Africa, he brought, or she, but it says here like it was he, his nasty ass, his funky nasty ass, he brought smallpox to us natives here in this land. Those are facts. You can say what you want. You can act as if these are lies, like somebody told me, well, if it's in the book, that doesn't mean it's true. That's what I was saying, bro. What the hell's wrong with you, man? Smallpox seems to have been the main prime culprit as Spaniards and their Nahua allies moved through the devastated city. Yeah, we got sellouts too. To this very day. Why do you think they're over there pushing that dumbass stupid chart? Covered with telltales pustules. As the Franciscan Chronicles Sahahun later put it, the streets were so filled with the dead and sick that our men walked over nothing but bodies. Deuteronomy 28:26. Thy carcasses shall be meat unto the fowls of the air and unto the beasts of the earth, and no man shall fray them away. So now we understand that, it takes what? Vultures to eat these bodies. We see here clearly that You're all over this book, family. You're all over this book. People want to take it from you. I understand. But it's your job to get it back. It's your job to get it back. How much do you care about your gente? How much do you really care about your people? Do you really? Or are you just talk? Or are you just saying, oh, I'm raza, just on the weekend type of shit? If you really care about your people, you're going to do the work, you're going to study, and you're going to learn about yourself. And you're going to learn about our history because it pertains to you. If you don't know who you are, you don't know where you have been. For example, I read the other day, if you don't know where you're going, in order for you to know where you're going, you need to know where you're at. But in order to know where you're at, you need to know where you've been. For example, why it's important, family, that repentance is not just, oh, I repent. Oh, I'm not going to commit sin. No, repentance is self-examination every day. Repenting is literally working on you so you can clear your mind of all the other bullshit, so then you can focus your spirit on your history about you. So then you can feed this to your family. Yes, we got to work. We got to feed. We got to do the normal things. But when you feed your spirit, it strengthens you. The scriptures don't lie. You are in here. Watch this. Let me show you something real quick. That's why it's important that you read, and it's important that you understand why all of these things matter. Second Ezra chapter 14, verse 40. And this has nothing to do with you taking fucking mushrooms, you stupid ass. I don't know why people are like that, man. And I hate the fact that it was one of our brothers that taught this shit. Second Ezra 14 and 40, and it wasn't that. It was technically this, okay? It was you willing to embrace this right here. You willing to see yourself as a tree. You willing to go through the planting and the rooting. Now, but the process of planting and rooting would bring you this back to their state. Second Ezra 14:40. So when you consider yourself as a tree, Leviticus 19:23, 24, 25 talks about the process of growth, the interchanging of yourself, the rooting of yourself, the getting rid of all that clot, all that crap, all that memory, all that resentment, all that anger, all that not being able to keep a relationship with people because you think they're all against you. No, we're the problem. We see ourselves as that. That's why we can't trust other gente. You got to learn how to give people the benefit of the doubt. Because if you're with the Most High, He's going to put people that are good around you, and you'll know how to discern them without making a mistake by pushing the ones that are really good for you away. And I took and drank, and when I had drunk of it, my heart uttered understanding. You see, you started breaking those clods. You started going through the process of being a newborn babe, being reborn again. And wisdom grew in my breast, meaning your actual spirit. For my spirit strengthened my mind. That is the connection. There's three things that connect us: the flesh and the mind connects the spirit. You got to know that. That's why people get confused with the triangle concept. That's why that's called esoteric concepts, philosophies. They try to figure out God more than beyond, and they want to write books about them. These are things that are not necessarily to be written. These are things that are to be shared between brothers, and then you experience it yourself. You don't go and write this in a book because it's not for everybody. This is why it destroys people. And I took it and drank it. And when I had drunk of it, my heart uttered understanding. And wisdom grew in my breast, and my spirit strengthened my memory. So the more you get to know about these things, the stronger you're going to feel about you. And all this chaos around us is going to start quieting down. You'll actually learn how to be still. You'll go through a lot of shit before you get to this point. I was brought to Mexico by Narvaez expedition in 1519, spread by the Spaniards and the Africans. Let me see. It was brought to Mexico. Hold on. The two native empires in the early 16th century were not the only regions hit by old world diseases. It is unlikely that at any corner of the Americas escaped an unscathed. The virus that killed Huayna Capac in the late 1520s was probably a continuation of a great pandemic that arrived in the Caribbean in 1518. It was brought to Mexico by the Narvaez expedition of 1519, spread by the Spaniards and Africans led by Cortez. and Alvarado through the Central and South America and Mexico and into Guatemala, traveling rapidly to Central America in earliest 1520s before fanning out across South America. This smallpox pandemic, which alone killed millions of Native Americans, was followed in 1530 by a lethal pandemic of measles that likewise ran from Mesoamerica to the Andes. Once again, we see here. This is why in verse 60, 20, Deuteronomy 28, 50, I believe, 9? Yeah, no, 60. No, 59. And then the Lord will make thy plagues wonderful, and thy plagues of thy seed, even great plagues, and of long continuance, and sore sicknesses, and long continuance, meaning one plague after the other. Moreover, he will bring upon thee all the diseases of Egypt, which thou was afraid of, and it shall cleave unto thee. You see this, what I'm saying? Also, every sickness and every plague, which is not written in the book of this law, then will the Lord bring upon thee until thou be destroyed. Let's not forget, F in the hell with your manifest destiny. You are the basis of men. The only reason you're here is because God allowed it. Get that right, Mr. White Man and Mr. Black Man. Get that through your sick-ass thick head. You will never rule again. This is your last chance. That's it. Enjoy, you two-time losers. This in successive waves of disease penetrated up into North America, decimating the densely populated lower Mississippi and southwest and Amazonia. That's why you got some dumbass wobbles who are from Africa try to claim that there are people. This is why I dislike you so much, because you are spitting at all of the death of our gente, you stupid asses. Whereas disease aided and accelerated the conquest among Nahuas, Mayas, and Andeans, it averted invasions and ruins in regions such as lower Mississippi and Amazon. Too few people were left to attract major expeditions, and not only modern times were the population levels of the original native empire even realized. The second great ally of the conquistadors was native disunity in its many forms and manifestations. You see that? You see how this is also has to do with us not uniting, us being separated? That's what they wanted. That's what they wanted the entire time. Let's go back here real quick. Page, we'll go to 2056. Watch this. And we see this Narvaez guy often. This is again from, that book, The Seven Myths regarding Black Conquistadors. Garrido's in there. All of these negros are in here. Another first attributed to the African, hold on, let me read. In 1519, Juan Garrido joined the Cortez expedition in the mainland. And then, hold on, let me pause. Let me see what's going on. Let me pause real quick. Let me go back. My bad. Sis. Let's see. Niggas have me and they don't have it because it's what is inside me. Yeah, they try to take our spirit. I was just peaceful and that hate that. Yeah, I know. It can be bothersome. I wonder how white people and mixed blacks will feel if we unleash dogs on them. I'm sure you know how they say that they're afraid of them. Honestly, I don't think we have the spirit for it. We're not wicked like that. That bro, I've been a sheep since a baby and I've been a target. I bet. Where's your purple? Where's your purple? Give me your daughters. Purple penguins took my purple away for not paying my arms, Doc. One second. Hey, bro, because he used to call me Emmanuel. Hey, Soldier Emmanuel, you ain't getting your arms, bro. If you don't give your arms, we're going to take your shirt.
That's right.
I guess so much for that whole promotion comes from above, huh? Psalms, I think, 1 something. That's what they use, or 90 something. Yeah, they do that. They actually do that. Yeah, he said, fuck the penguins. White people have no foundation. Very true. Well, especially the ones here, because they're a mixture of a bunch of shit. So now they can't hold on to nothing but I'm American, because you're a bunch of everything. You talk about us being a mixture. That's why they say we're mixed. We're not. We're not. It's a father seed. But see, they don't know who their father is because they're a bunch of everything, black and white. It's the facts. Love you, bro. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be taking shots to myself. Yeah, it's okay. I love all my gente. I understand, sis. I love you. I love y'all too. I pray and all of us make it. Well, it's not going to be that way. It's not. Unfortunately, 2/3 are going to be destroyed. That's the crazy part. Let me see. I said some of this. What's up, VTC? What's up, brother? All these Gentile nations last stand and they're losing big time. What comes around is coming back. Yeah, that's right. What came around is coming back. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. Black and White K's are Alliance Part 2. Yeah, real niggas do real things. It's funny. So check this out. So it says here, 1519, Juan Garrido joined the Cortez expedition to the mainland, and in 1520 was one of the founding residents of Mexico City. Garrido later wrote to the king that he was the first to have inspiration to sow wheat here in New Spain and to see if it took. It did this and experimented at my own expense. Another first attributed to the African, okay, so his contribution was wheat, and the other major contribution family was by an African in Mexico. He brought, it says, first attributed to an African in Mexico was the bringing of smallpox to the mainland. Francisco de Uguia, one of the black slaves on the Narvaez expedition, 1520, allegedly died of the disease soon after landing on the Mexican coast. Unlike later expeditions, Africans did not participate in the conquest of Mexico in the hundreds, for as Bernal Diaz observed, at the time, blacks and horses were worth their weight in gold. Huh.
That's right.
Makes you wonder, huh? You guys were expensive. So I guess slavery wasn't really so much slavery, was it? It wouldn't make sense. If they invested so much to get you here, why would they treat you like shit? Probably among dozens of blacks among the Spanish who invaded the Mexican Empire. One was Juan Jose Cortez, a slave named after his owner. Juan Cedeño also had his own African servant. See, Juan Cedeño, who's black, had his own African servant. The Ramirez brothers, who later followed Alvarado to Guatemala, each brought a horse and a black slave to Mexico. But remember, we read before, these are Swati and light-skinned people. Anyways, let me kind of get to this point. The Dominican chronicler Diego Duran, for example, mentions various servants and blacks. You see this right here. While the native account compiled by Sagahun simply notes that the Spaniards came some blacks who had crispy, curled, dark hair. Hey, Wobbles, how come you guys ignore these books? Page 41, same book. Hapes and man, that's funny. No pun intended. The smallpox seems to have been the prime culture. I think I read this, no? I think I did. It was brought to Jamaica when I was expedition. That's right, I did. Let's see here real quick. So we got that out of the way. I believe I read this. Maybe I didn't. Let me touch on it. The conquistadors had two good allies. One was a disease. For 10 millennia, the Americans had been isolated from the rest of the world. The greater number of the people in the old world, the greater variety of domesticated animals from which such diseases was smallpox, measles, and flu originated, meant that Europeans and Africans arrived in the New World with a deadly array of germs. You dirty bastards. That's why, history shows that we used to cover our noses because these bastards stank. White and black folks, man, you guys were dirty people. The germs still killed old world peoples, but they had developed relatively high levels of immunity compared to Native Americans. So, again, a lot of stuff that we read here, okay? I don't want you to kind of forget. Let's not forget how these things came about. Remember how it says blacks and whites, smallpox spread in South America faster than European zits to the disease, yada, 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 right? We see here on page 49, it says the same thing, kind of, I'm just wanting to remind you guys how serious this smallpox shit was, okay? But remember, these pictures? All right, so now I got a question right now, because it came up. It just came up. It just came up. All right? Jeremiah 9:17. Wait, is it 9:17 Jeremiah? Which one is it? Or is it 7:19? Hold on a second. Let me see something, okay? Give me a second. Let me see if I can find it. I know it's in Jeremiah something.
Here, Jeremiah 9:16. Okay, so you black or white people, you say you're the people of the book. So specifically, black folks here in America, I will scatter them. Jeremiah 19:16. I will scatter them among the heathen, whom neither they nor their fathers have known, and I will send the sword after them till I have consumed them. That consumption never happened to you. But one thing I do know is, like, I keep seeing black and white people very familiar with each other, aren't they? Does that make sense? Does it make sense? That's my question. Because it doesn't make sense now, does it? I don't believe it makes sense. Now, Isaiah, check this out. Isaiah 1:5 says this. 1:4, I'll read. A sinful nation, a people laden with iniquity, a seed of evildoers, children that are corrupters. They have forsaken the Lord. They have provoked the Holy One of Israel unto anger. They have gone away backwards. What are you going to do with them, my father? Why should ye be stricken anymore? Ye will revolt more and more, and the whole head is sick, and the whole heart is faint, right? Give me a second, brother. Give me a second. Let me go here. My phone's about to die, man, so I'm going to try to get that for you. Hold on, family. All right, so now it says here, why should you be stricken anymore, right? And then it says here, from the sole of the foot even unto the head, there is no soundness in it, but wounds and bruises and petrifying sores. They have not been closed, neither bound up, neither mollified with ointments. And we see that this disease was extremely devastating to our gente. We see this. Look, I'll give you an example. Let me go to the back, to the beginning. Let's go to the beginning. Let's not move this. Let's not move on from this topic. This is serious, man. This destroyed a lot of our people, fam. It's destroyed a lot. It really does affect us. You know, I showed you this already. Maybe not. I think I did. Yeah, I did. It's one of the first ones. If you're not, take a picture of it. It's just basically reminding us. Now, the origin of smallpox, I showed you that. I showed you the attributes, who this guy was. This is from the mysteries of the Mexican pyramids. You know, Negroes want to say that's them. They're the Mexicans now. You stupid asses. You guys are dumb. Where's your Ave Maria, Padre Nuestro? Where's your 10 Mandamientos, güey? Where's your credo? Where's your rosario? A ver, I'll even say, Padre Nuestro que estás en el cielo, santificado sea tu nombre. I haven't done it in years, but that was so engraved in us. I've never heard no Negro ever say that shit. So shut your asses up. The prettier women were raped and infected with smallpox. With the pox, smallpox, leprosy, and all manner of plague by 1545. You dirty bastards. This is what you did. This is what you did. Since at least as early as 1763, when Lord Jeffreys answered, ordered smallpox-infected blankets distributed to the Ottawas as a means of our extinguishing or exportating this execrable race. The spread of disease had been a conscious part of the Euro-American, Euro-Canadian approach to facilitate the vanishing of the native North Americans. This is for our northern brothers and sisters that experience this horrific shit here. Yeah, they claim, listen, true, they hate to claim each other, but they don't, bro. They don't, not at all. They love each other. It's the chessboard, black and white, that's the whole Freemason shit. Black and white people. They're defining themselves. These Euros, that's what it is, man. Look, to this very day, Mercurio, right? Look at this, raza right here, paisas. Soon after leaving Port Isabel, the ship's doctors began administering smallpox vaccinations to deportees. This was in 1956 regarding the Ex-Repatriation Act. They were putting us on ships and injecting us with smallpox. El regreso. No sean pendejos, güeyes. You're all over this book. This is from, I believe, the Holocaust as well. American Holocaust. The Spanish Christopher Culo and his crew left behind, which who was a Sephardic Jew, by the way. I don't know why you guys still think he's our gente. And he left his crew behind just before 1542, whatever, that no difference. The epidemic outbreak of the plague and smallpox, along with the routine attacks of the measles, influenza, diphtheria, typhoid fever, and more, frequently swept the European cities and towns clean out of 10 to 20% of their population at a single stroke. You see this? These dirty people were experiencing this. But why? And again, as it was in companion disease, the pestilence they called the Black Death returned. I wonder now. Now you know why they call it the Black Death? Famine too was common. Famine too was common. Garrido, once again, black slaves, black slavers. Garrido was by no means the only black conquistador to accompany Ponce de Leon in Puerto Rico. Nor was he the only one to invade Cuba with Diego Velázquez. Many black slaves had participated in the conquest here. Valente and Garrido were typical of black conquistadors in a number of ways. They both appear to have been African-born. You see this? So make it make sense. Now I think you guys can understand why Nate said this. You see, it caught my ear, and I always wonder, why did Nate say this, man? Check this out. This right here.
They forced us to convert to Christianity, this new form of Christianity, wherein they were God.
He said they forced us into this new form of Christianity. Okay, but let's continue. Now we know from these so-called, like for example, right now, these people here have they got a boner going on right now. They got a boner going on because apparently, because you see these West Africans from here, now they've influenced Africans from over there, and they really made them believe this shit. So now they're all excited because supposedly an expensive book is opening the book and saying, "Hey, look, the real Jews, look what they look like." Check. Let's just show you real quick.
Added in 1971. Contents Asia. As you can see,
Look, so no Semitic, right? But it's not, doesn't look like anything like them. And this lady makes a stupid face. I don't know why you make that face. Nobody wants to look at it. Anyways, so you start seeing certain pictures here and like yada yada yada. They're all excited, whatever, and then all of a sudden, so here we go. You see these pictures? Look at the crosses, family. Does that seem like what he said?
They forced us to convert to Christianity, this new form of Christianity, wherein they were God, they were Christ. Okay, the angels were white, and that the Jews who had converted, the white men who had converted to being a Jew, they also had to, they were on top of us. This white man that we had used from the Caucasus Mountains to help us in our military, they also turned against us.
You see that? This white man that we had used to help us in our military, isn't this what we had just read, that it was technically the opposite as well? Yeah, they probably do. Hey, let me see that, bro. Put the link here, and I'll see if I can show it. But anyways, look, let's continue.
Never trust your enemies, brothers and sisters. We were we said, these are our allies. These are our allies. These are our allies. These are our allies.
These are our allies. These are our allies. These are our allies. And I was like, these are our allies. So now as we look through this book more, see her dumbass face. As we look through this book more, we're seeing these so-called black folks, right? Supposedly they're like them, but they have a cross. Now, last time I checked, clearly the Bible said that this nation that would scatter us, you would not know. Deuteronomy 28:64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all the people from one end of the earth even to another. And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. So you're saying that you were pushing Christianity. So this religion isn't new to you. So how are you the Israelites? No, you see, you have to fit the script. Isaiah 1:6. From the soles of thy foot even to the head, there is no soundness in it, but wounds and bruises and putrefying swords. You see, this is exactly what I was talking about. The attack by beast, the attack by a disease, which would be a metaphor. First, it was disease that attacked us, because we were not sound from the head to the top. Like I say, you're tore up from the floor up and beat up from the feet up. From the soles of the foot even to the head, there is no soundness in it. So because we lost our mind worshiping other demons, but wounds and bruises and petrifying swords, which would be causing us as well. You see all over the place. Job 2:6, and the Lord said unto Satan, behold, he is in thine hand, but save his life. So went Satan forth from the presence of the Lord and smote Job with sore boils from the soles of his foot, even unto his even from the soles of his foot. Job with sore boils from the sole of his foot unto his crown, from the top of his head, even to the bottom of his head. From the top of his head to the bottom of his head. From the top of his head to the bottom of his head. What did we see here? Cold sores. Cold sores. This is from the Mexican pyramids, the mysteries of the Mexican pyramids. The drawing at the left from the 16th century codex is a winter count-like depiction of the year dominated by smallpox. Two men lie dying or dead, their bodies spotted with pustules. The drawing below from the general history shows cries of pain escaping from the victim's lips. You see that? They can't stand this, man. This is a horrible pain. Horrible pain. 16th century Mexica drawings of smallpox, the disease that destroyed the empire by crippling the defender of Tenochtitlan in the battle against Cortés. An epidemic broke out in the sickness of pustules. We see this, family. Large bumps spread on the people. Some were entirely covered. They spread everywhere, on the face, on the head, on the chest. Sore boils from the sole of his foot unto his crown. From the sole of his foot onto his crown. Deuteronomy 28:61. It says here. It's 60. And moreover, he will bring upon thee all the disease of Egypt. 59. The Lord will make thy plagues wonderful. You see this here. This was no joke. Look at this one. This is from, again, the American Holocaust, page 77, bottom part. Those who survived, having scratched themselves, were left in such a condition that they frightened the others with so many deep pits in their faces, hands, and body. Go back to Job. So now, Job 2:6 says, 2:7. So Satan went from the presence of the Lord and smote Job with sore boils from the soles of his foot unto his crown. Now you know why Job said, 9:24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? He tells you who it is. Satan would give them power, and they would manifest that boils, give it to certain people that are working for Satan to give it to you. And who gave it to us? These people. And then came famine, not because of want of bread, but of meals. For the women do nothing but grind maize between two stones and bake it. Guapos, where's your maize? Pendejos. The woman then fell sick of the smallpox, bread failed, and many died of hunger. The corpse stank so horrible that no one would bury them. The streets were filled with them. And it is even said that the officials, in order to remedy the situation, pulled the houses down to cover the corpse. You're all over this book, family. You see, from the head to the toe, right? And what did Deuteronomy 28:27 say? It says, 26, I'm sorry. Thy carcasses shall be meat unto the fowls of the air and unto the beasts of the earth, and no man shall fray them away. The Lord shall smite thee with the botch of Egypt, and with the emerods, and with the scab, and with the itch, whereof thou cannot be healed. That means your butt, your nutsack, your private parts. If you're a female, your breast, everything burns. Everything hurts. Everything. Everything. This is from American Holocaust, page 58. Roadside ditches filled with stank waters served as public latrines. Hold on a second. You see, this is showing how dirty they were. Along with the stench and repulsive appearance of the openly displayed dead, human and animal alike, a modern visitor of the European city in the era would repel by the appearance and the vile aromas given off by the living as well. Most people never bathed, not once in an entire lifetime. Almost everyone had his or her brush with smallpox and the other deforming diseases that left survivors partially blind, pockmarked, or crippled. The women had bad breath for rotting teeth, constant stomach disorder, which cannot be documented from any sources. Ulcers, eczema, scabs. You see this? You see this? Once again, the Negro in his suit brought with him smallpox. The disease spread rapidly in that quarter of the country. A great number of Indian population soon fell victims to it. Viruela. La enfermedad de la viruela fue importada por un negro esclavo de Pánfilo Narváez. You see, you're not the only one. You're not the only ones. It just shows you, to be quite frank with you, it just basically shows you how in the world do you want us to believe that you are the people of the book if your bastard ass, hey, you know what? My phone just died. All will be revealed. Here, send it, try to email it here. Is woke. Email it here, no, por favor. I'll get it right away. Gotta be mindful. Our gente is not dumb anymore, family. You're waking up and finding out the truth. The unfortunate truth for some people, but it is what it is. I mean, before you were so boastful of, the white man did it, the white man did it. Well, guess what? The white and the black man did it. And I'm telling you in your face. La enfermedad de la viruela fue importada por un negro esclavo de Pánfilo Narváez que vino a México en la armada de su amo el año 1521 y se propagó en Nueva España la epidemia. Excuse me. En 1796 apareció la epidemia de la viruela por la vía de Tehuantepec en la provincia de Oaxaca y llegó al pueblo de Teotitlán del Valle. En el año siguiente se desarrolló este mal en México. Viruela. La enfermedad de viruela fue importada por un negro esclavo. Ya lo leímos. We already read it. Once again, death in Mexica. Page 1467. I cannot find this book, family. I'm going to look for it. It was imported into the country, it is said, by a Negro slave in the fleet of Narváez. It first broke out in Zempoala. The poor natives, ignorant of the best mode of treating the loathsome disorder, sought relief in their usual practice of bathing in cold water, which greatly aggravated their trouble. Why? Because we showered often. Family, I shower at least twice a day. At least twice a day. Okay? I mean, that's just me. I just like to stay clean. Now, me particular, I'm not a really hairy man. You know, I really don't have much hair all over my body. And honestly, I don't wear deodorant because my armpits don't smell. I don't know if it's something that we have, but our gente, at least typically, we're very clean. Okay? That's a spiritual thing as well. So it's not just a far-fetched concept. From Zampoela, it spread rapidly. So us assuming that we could wash it away, it would actually get us sicker because we would wash the skin and, you know, the pores open up. You're open to the wind. You're not really aware of these infectious other things that are coming around. It didn't help. Thence it swept down towards the borders of Pacific, leaving it path strewn down in the dead bodies of the natives who, in strong language of their contemporary, perish in heaps like cattle stricken with the murrain. It does not seem to have been fatal to the Spaniards, many of whom probably had already had the disorder and who were, at all events, acquainted with the proper method of treating it. So again, if you are the people of this book, how come you did not perish like we did? That's my question. You know what I'm saying? I'm still trying to figure that out, yo. But again, you know what? I mean, they're just going to say, hey, I'm just a racist. La primera fue la viruela y comenzó de esta manera, siendo capitán y gobernador Hernando Cortés al tiempo de que el capitán Pánfilo de Narváez desembarcó en esta tierra. En uno de sus navios vino un negro herido de viruelas, la cual enfermedad nunca en esta tierra se había visto, y esta sazón estaba esta Nueva España en extremo muy lleno de gente. Murieron muchos chinches a montones. Eran tantos los difuntos que morían de aquella enfermedad que no había quien los enterrese, por lo cual en México los echaban en las acequias, porque entonces había muy grande copia de aguas y era muy grande hedor el que salía de los cuerpos muertos, meaning the smell. The smell was so horrid. The smell was horrid. Like this guy. It's Nate the Snake all over again. And look, I don't know if this is true. I'm not gonna read it for the sake of being. I don't want to get like stopped or X. But you guys can take a picture of it. Apparently, it has some connection. I don't know, but I found it, and it affects our children. My son's autistic, so that's why it matters to me. So we kneel now. We see this, constantly, and I'm trying to touch every page here. I don't want to miss anything. Let me continue. We see the smallpox plague. We see what's going on here. We know about the dogs of conquest. We understand the contribution of your to America. You Africans, yeah, you brought smallpox with you. That's right. That's you right there. Okay. Here, let's continue. We get you. I see you. I'll give you all the credit in the world that you want, Mr. African. I'll give you all the credit in the world. Because even after being able to feed us to dogs and give us your damn dirty disease, on top of that, because you know the white man favors you, it still continues to this day. You see it, family. They're the ones voting for this. This is from a book called Aztecs Under Spanish Rule. Just a really, really short page here. 279. I mean, don't mean nothing, but I want to show you something. Even after that, right? Even after being slaughtered, being treated like shit, being fed to animals, being killed, thrown on meat hooks, all this stuff, thrown overboard, apart from direct land alienation, certain secondary features of Spanish landholding seriously affected the Indian welfare. Why? The presence of a Spanish property near an Indian community commonly resulted in what were called offenses, gravios or agravios, by Negro servants, usually robbery and forced entry into Indian houses. That's the man that came. Look how big this black dude is right here. He's bigger than the horse. He's bigger than our people. He's almost as tall as the man on this horse. That's why I'm talking about the muscle. Just like these football players you see on TV. These tall ass basketball players. These children of Ham, the Anaks. Yeah, I know this hurts your feelings. I know nobody's watching now. I get it. I get it. I get it. This ain't your favorite channel. I know. I get it. I get it. I get it. Oh, yeah. Let me show you something real quick. Because this is extremely painful when you read this. Maybe to you guys it doesn't matter. Yeah, maybe it doesn't matter, you know? Who cares, right? Who cares that you've been hacked apart with axes, with swords, burned alive, trampled under horses, hunted as game, fed to dogs, shot, beaten, stabbed, scalped for bounty, hanged on meat hooks, and thrown over the ships of the sea, worked to death as slave laborers, intentionally starved, frozen to death during the multitude of forced marches, internments, and an unknown number of instances deliberately infected with the epidemic disease. By who? By a combination of people. This is why you either really study the scriptures for what they are or you're a respecter of people. Deuteronomy 28:35. The Lord shall smite thee in the knees and in the legs with a sore botch that cannot be healed, from the sole of thy foot unto the top of thy head. Didn't we read that? We read that. Leviticus 26:39. Watch this real quick so you can see. You're all over this place. And they that are left of you shall pine away in their iniquity in your enemies' lands, and also in the iniquities of their fathers shall they pine away with them. That's why they were left few in number. That didn't happen to you, black man or black woman. Stop trying to claim you're an Israelite, because you can't prove that shit. At least not in this channel. You can confuse all kinds of white folks and black folks. You can attack the Khazars all day, every day. That's fine. Attack them. Come and try to touch this. I challenge any camp. Try to tell me that you're these people, and I'll stay in Deuteronomy 28, and I won't leave, and I'll show you. But you won't be willing to, because I'm destroying your spirit. And the Lord shall make the pestilence cleave unto thee until he have consumed thee from off that land, whither thou goest to possess it. Now we know that we came over here and that we were consumed. But who brought this? Deuteronomy 28:49. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from afar, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. Black and white folks, y'all were dealing with each other. Look at this right here. This is the black pope right here. Saint Melchides. It's the black pope. Look him up. It said the eagle, right? Supposedly it's only the white man. No, it's not just the white man. The eagle. The eagle. The eagle. The eagle. Obviously, we've seen that picture. The eagle right there. This demon. The eagle. Supposedly, these guys are not related, or they had nothing to do with Christianity, but all I see is Christianity right here. Look at the cross. I thought you were not known of this. I thought you black folks said that these people taught your religion that you never knew about. This is not far-fetched. Call on me, brother. Black and white. Am I not showing you? A nation from afar, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth. A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. They're so boastful that they ruled Europe. That means they spoke French, Dutch, English, Spanish, Portuguese, I don't know, Russian, English. So you were not unfamiliar with these people from a weird nation with a language that you weren't familiar with. No, not at all. No, on the contrary. A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of old, nor show favor to the young. So we see, nor show favor to the young. So we see that black and white conquistadors were the ones feeding us to dogs, chopping us to pieces, not giving a hell about you. But now you want to say you're our gente. Now you want to use some stupid ass chart, and you want to bring idiots like this guy here from MySUPK, whatever your name is. He's trying to say I'm more white than his ass. So that's what we're getting now. This is what we're getting. Yet you guys don't realize these people knew each other. So if you're the people of this book, how is it that you know each other so well? No, that's not what happened. Now, after all of this that I've showed you, now you can actually understand the insanity. Imagine going through all of this shit. Now you know how and why Jeremiah 17:4 says, and thou, even thyself, to discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not, for ye have kindled the fire in mine anger, which shall burn forever. How do you lose your heritage? By losing your mind. Now, why do you think it was important to see this here? That's why this bastard Sumarraga, man, this is one person that I really dislike. This bastard had a lot to do with this. So check this out. This is from, we're going to go to, let me see. We'll go up here. Maybe it's here. Hold on a second, family. Try to go fast. Hold on a second here. Shut up. This page. It's in Spanish. So remember, once you're fatigued, you're destroyed, your family's dead, everybody's gone. You know what I'm saying? You're pretty much done. Okay. This is from a book that I have. It's regarding the Virgen de Guadalupe. Okay. But on page 113, it says this. This is the important part. It's in Spanish. It says here, Nueva España estaba bien pacificada, excepto por algunos esporádicos levantamientos de indios. Realmente no había el temor de la resurrección de un imperio azteca. Menos cabía aún que el rey, aunque el virrey recién llegado por los demás sospechara la fuerza subversiva que llegaría a tener un día la apropiación por la élite crío del pasado indígena y una utópica tentativa de restauración del imperio azteca. So suggesting that, they weren't sure that everything was passive now. They didn't really think that any kind of people were going to try to get back to become the empire that once we had. But to make it safe, they figured, you know what? It's a perfect time. La constancia con la cual se dedicó a dotar a su patria de un pasado digno de la presente de la elección divina que acababa de conferirle la aparición de la Virgen de Tepeyec. So, because they were passive now, they were mentally destroyed, it was the perfect time to bring the image of the Virgin Mary, which we know now that it was Juan Zumarraga that made all of this shit up. He glorified this image, okay? He glorified it. The earlier conquistadors didn't believe this guy. Let me skip it. Y era alguna ocasión en que poder decir donde se apareció la imagen de la María Santísima de Guadalupe al el ilustrísimo obispo don Fray Juan de Zumarraga? Dará licencia a esta historia a que no ha tenido otro fin en sus escritos, tales cuales sino ilustrar la patria. So it doesn't have any other beginning but the fact that supposedly it appeared to him. So now we see the destruction of this guy. We see, the destruction of our people. And what does he do? He was the one that created the Christian compendium or Christian doctrine. Zumarraga prevented, this is from the Lutheran newsletter written in 1900, September 9th or September 7th. And it says here on the bottom, from 1539 to 1810, I'm sorry, no, let me go back. Let's see. The first Bible printed in Mexico, the first Bible printed in Mexico, in the Christian Advocate, the printing press came to Mexico in 35. For in that year, they were printed in Mexico in Spanish in the Greek compendium. It says that under the auspice, the famous Bishop Fray Juan Zumarraga, that was just 81 years before Mayflower brought the first pilgrims. From 1539 to 1810, when the mortal Hidalgo raised the city of Mexican independence during the 221 years Spanish rule and misrule in Mexico, Spain did not only did not give Mexico a Bible, but certainly prohibited the printing of any part of the sacred scriptures of any language of the Mexican people. This prohibition is still enforced with regard to the printing of the Bible in any other dialects. That's what they're saying. At that time. So now we see this Zumarraga character very involved in the destruction of our spirit now. Why? Because it was time. It was time. Right here we see. Same book, page 55. It says here, pero el celo de Zumarraga lo llevó a acceso que después que quiso quemar en público en 1539 al cacique de Texcoco y en 1545 al de Yanhuitlán, causaron la desaparición del tribunal hasta 1570. Las instrucciones del inquisidor general a ese segundo tribunal prevenían expresamiento: no habéis de proceder contra los indios. It says here, this one had a lot to do with the idolatry beliefs, the burning of our books, the burning of our people, right? This man had a lot to do with it. He was the author of these things. He was also given the power that all we would know was Our Father, Ave Maria, Credo, and 10 Commandments. That's why you see this Jacopono de Todi before the Blessed Virgin Mary, 1490, right? But this man, this is 1490. This is before they even came here. But this guy, Jacopon de Todi, was from the 1300s. This is before here the Americas. You see this image here? Hold on a second. This image right here? Look at the similarity. 1490, 1600. 1490. Watch this. I'll show you something. Jacopon da Todi. Look what year he's from. So you guys that are all, ay, the Virgin Mary, la Virgen María, es mi madre. No seas pendejo, güey. This guy was between 1230 AD to 1306. He was the one that created the concept of the Virgin Mary. Him. Jacopon de Todi. This guy right here. He. You know the tonsure? Remember the tonsure? Tonsure, right? That's that haircut, correct? And remember where that haircut came from? The Druids. The Druids have this haircut. That is where it originated from. This is the man that created your stupid ass demon, Queen of Heaven. Right here. And this is what they're feeding you. Right here, you dumbasses. La reina del cielo, güey. María fue la reparadora de la culpa de Eva, como nuestra Señor fue la reparadora de la culpa de Adán. La mujer, como Cristo, es el hombre. Haciendo lo alto, llegó a ser reina del cielo, the Queen of Heaven. There she is right there. My Mexican brothers and sisters, that you worship this stupid-ass image of a dumbass demon, and you think this is real, crawling on your stupid knees on December 12th? This is what you believe in. So guess what? This Zumarraga invented this shit. And he said, hey, well, guess what? You know, they're already destroyed. So let's just destroy these dumbass beginners even more. Los españoles no creyeron en lo que dijo Juan Diego respecto a la aparición, ni tampoco en lo que expresa Juan Bernardino, porque para ellos los indios eran seres iracuis o esos judíos, y se necesitó que el Papa Pablo III los sacara de su error por medio de su breve de 10 de julio de 1537. These guys didn't believe that it appeared to us because we were supposedly Jews. See that, family? Según es la creencia que los españoles tenían de los indios, es evidente que ellos no creyeron en que la Virgen María se apareció a Juan Diego. Zumarraga apenas pudo en 2 años, 15 días, construir una ermita en Tepeyac para su imagen. Tenía la burla de los conquistadores que le darían que no debían ayudar a la construcción de un templo que no tenía más fundamento que el cuento de un indio de Tolpetlac. Murió el inquisidor Samarruga impropia, so he died, right, in 1548. But because he had other people, otros ayudantes, los franciscanos, los friales más adictos a María, quienes desde el siglo XIII, defendieron y propagaron el dogma de la Inmaculada Concepción de la Virgen, which is why he said the 1300s, right? The 1300s, when is that? Capón de Todi, the 1300s, he created the so-called image of the Virgin Mary. That is the concept. That's who he is, okay? In case you don't know, that's who this guy is. And he has the tincture. And the tincture is from the Druids who were sacrificing babies.
Copyright disclaimer.
So in case you guys don't know, that's how dumb you guys can be, not knowing your own history. Falsedad de la aparición de la Virgen de Guadalupe. Todos los autores que tratan de la aparición, dicen los católicos mexicanos, convienen que el desplegar Juan Diego su tilma, cayeron las flores de su monstruo pintada de la imagen de María. Esos autores, decimos nosotros, carecen de sentido común o creyeron que México sería siempre una nación de friales, pues lo natural era que el indio desplegara su capa enseñando las flores, no dejándola caer. You see what I'm saying? Lo que dicen que la Virgen dio a Juan Diego como prueba que era madre de Dios fueron las flores, yara, 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 yara. Lo interesante para el Fray Zumarraga fue presentar la imagen que había inventado como venida de los cielos. ¿Ya ven, pendejos? El obispo inquisidor fue un justo, ya que quemó vivo al rey indio porque ofreció sus sacrificios a los ídolos. Y él inventó el ídolo guadalupano para que él y todos los presbiterios romanistas le ofrecieran, según dicen ellos, el cuerpo y sangre de Jesucristo en el llamado sacrificio de la misa. Zumarraga, que hizo lo que le plugó con el indio noble y más fiel aliado de Cortés, ¿no haría del plebeyo Juan Diego lo que él quiso? Dicen los servidores del papá que Juan Bernardino, tío de Juan Diego, fue el que comisionó la Virgen para que dijera que a su imagen se le nombrara Santa María de Guadalupe. Preguntamos, ¿cómo pudo Bernardino pronunciar esta palabra cuando carece de la G, el idioma mexicano? Meaning, we don't pronounce the G. Esta voz la dio Francisco Juan Diego de Zumarraga como un recuerdo de España. Es nombre árabe que tiene por raíz Guad, que significa río. Y así Guadalajara, nombre. Guadalajara. So Guadalajara, I want to look up that definition. Hold on a second. I'm interested in this. Guadalajara, hold on a second. It says here on the bottom, y así Guadalajara, nombre que los españoles dieron a la capital de Jalisco. Quiere decir río de las peñas, igual Quivir y Guadaleta, ríos españoles, significan río grande o río chico. El obispo pensó que los mexicanos nunca sabrían filosofía, raíces, prejuicios y descendencia. Just listen to this, family. El obispo pensó que los mexicanos nunca sabrían filosofía, raíces, prejuicios o descendencias. Meaning you wouldn't look into your own history. Y que toda su vida serían ignorantes de gramática. La imagen guadalupana tenía un rostro que representa a una joven de 14 a 15 años. Como saben los católicos, que se parece a María si en ninguna parte de la tierra se halla su retrato? Si el retrato de Colón no ha podido identificarse como la identificará a María. Sí es difícil esto de descubrir de América. Sí es difícil esto del descubridor de América que murió hace 389 años y fue descrito por Fernández de Ovidio. Más difícil es tratándose de que María, que murió desde el primer siglo de la iglesia cristiana, a quien nadie descubrió en aquella época. So as you can see, los españoles no creyeron lo que dijo Juan Diego because they didn't believe Zumarraga, because Zumarraga was trying to create this shit since the 1300s. From who? From the freaking dude, Jacopo da Tori. Blessed is the womb that bare thee, a woman said to Jesus. Yea, blessed is she, who? The Queen of Heaven. Such ideas about the beast, the breast, on the other hand, were not foreign to the worshippers of the pagan mother god. Images of her have been unearthed often to show the breast extremely out of proportion to the body. In the case of Diana, to symbolize her fertility, she is pictured with as many as 100 breasts. Further attempts to exalt Mary to a glorified position within Catholicism may be seen in the doctrines of Immaculate Conception, which we read. This doctrine was pronounced and defied by Pius I believe, 19th in 1854, that blessed the Virgin Mary in the first instance of her conception was preserved exempt from all stain of original sin. This is when they made it official. Right here. This is when they made it official. La diosa hindú, la Virgen con el niño, la Virgen María. You still want to worship this? This is what they did. They gave us the Virgin Mary. They gave us the Padre Nuestro, Ave María, Credo, 10 Mandamientos, el Rosario. This is Zumarraga. He burned and destroyed everything about our history. This is why I took this picture. Matter of fact, watch this. This is why I took this picture right here. Because it reminded me of it. You know what I'm saying? It literally reminded me of it, man. Watch this. Like Hitler style, right? Zumarraga was no different. He took our books and burned them. Everything about us, all our history. Shouting Nazis, racially alien, books into a roaring bonfire. And who did he use? Black padres. The African presence. Black slaves, supposedly. Muslim Spain. Check this out. Son of King Alfonso of Kong. This is from one of their famous books called The Image of the Black in Western Art. Look, they're proud of it, so I'm going to give you that credit. Look, see? White Jesus, black Jesus. Is there any difference, family? No, look. The Immaculate Conception. The Negro Immaculate Conception. These are demons right here. These people are working together. They're not new to this. They want to act as if they don't know what's going on. Family, they know exactly what's going on. Look right here. You see this animal-looking mofo right here? Yeah. He's not about you, fam. You see what I'm saying? All these things going viral in plantations. For some reason, Black Russian Christ has resurfaced again. Analysis of the feature rather bring up Rome, Bell, that herd, sheep, whatever. Colonialism. Doesn't matter. You know why? Because it's not convenient for you who's trying to teach that doctrine. So we see here in this book, which they're so proud of, it's here, The Image of the Black. It's a very interesting book. It's very thick. I have it. It says here on page, I don't know what page, 214. On December 1st December 1520, he was consecrated and returned to Congo, accompanied by African priests trained in theology and canon law. The missionary efforts, however, were short-lived. The bishop's seat in Africa later became Sao Tome, but no Africans were appointed. Only the Bishop of Lamego in Portugal had the right to appoint African priests. This is in the 1520 family. Though in the 18th century, the Jesuits established a college in San Salvador, which trained clerics for religious services. Unfortunately, none of the African clergymen were painted, or at least none portraits had come down to us, meaning they skipped them. Okay, fine. You see, I know that that's who you are. And I know that that's how you would discontinue our heritage. This is how it would happen. You see, I know that you would be doing that. Because here we clearly see, come on, bro, not right now. We clearly see how you achieve this. This is from the Maya Conquistadors. The Maya Conquistadors talks about this right here. Page 165. I'll just get to the point. It says here, it should not be the black clothed padres. They really take money. They really ask for a great deal of money. They drive us mad over money. Therefore, these words that we say to you, they are not lies, for they are really the truth. We will not prove it, for there were many black padres, 21, that came with the Spaniards, and not one of them knew our language here. Only one of them did, but the padre who entered did not teach, for at that time there were no elders, really just boys. They traded in the other kahabs. Moreover, they wished to say little. The black padres, those black ones, they hated us. He truly understands that one Franciscan padre is better than many black padres. They hated us. So these black padres, who they were teaching, okay, our history, our heritage, our book, this is what Zumarraga had a way to pacify us. Now you understand why when it says, and thou shalt discontinue from thy heritage, which I gave thee. Why? Because when Deuteronomy 28, verse 20, verse 21, verse 22, verse 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, by the time you get to 28, Deuteronomy 28, the Lord shall smite thee with madness and blindness and astonishment of heart. After you see all of this shit, you think you're going to be sane? Religion, the Virgin Mary, white Jesus, it was all perfect at this point. Why? Because once you're destroyed like this way, and thou shalt grow up at noonday as the blind grow up in darkness, you don't know which way to go because of the so-called post-traumatic stress disorder. Some of us suffer from alcoholism or drug addiction, whatever it may be. A lot of that shit, imagine what our gente was going through. And thou shalt not prosper in thy ways, and thou shalt only be oppressed and spoiled evermore, and no man shall save thee. Why? Verse 48. Therefore thou shalt serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send thee, in hunger, in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things, which includes religion, which is why Sumarraga gave us all of this shit. All of it. Which is why Sumarraga got away with it. Got rid of our history, taught us everything about black and white crap, black and white Jesus. I don't even think they had an image at that time, family, to be honest with you, because they looked like that. I think it was a black. I think they were black Jesuses at that time. I think like maybe these colors started changing after a while. That's just me. And he should put a yoke upon iron. You should put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until ye have destroyed thee. But see, this is a spiritual yoke, because by this point, guess what? We're already destroyed. Like he said, he had pacified us. And thou shalt grope at noonday as the blind gropeth in darkness. So it's like, I wonder, man, these people knew each other. We didn't know these people. Deuteronomy 28:33. Watch this. The fruit of thy land and all thy labor shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up. And thou shalt only be oppressed. Black man, you knew the white man. What the hell are you talking about? Verse 36. The Lord shall bring thee and thy king which thou shalt set over thee. Which king will you hear with us? Unto a nation which neither now nor thy fathers have known. And there thou shalt serve other gods, wood and stone. You're not serving other gods. These are your bro, not right now, bro. Look. You said you rule Europe. You're very familiar with Christianity. You're very familiar with Christianity. You're very familiar with the white man. You're very familiar with their religion. This is nothing new. What are you talking about? You're very familiar with each other. You see? King James, you said he's black, right? King James is not teaching nothing about Hebrew shit. He's teaching Christianity. Verse 64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from one end of the earth even unto another, and there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither now than thy fathers have known. I know us. We didn't know the Virgin Mary. We didn't know no white Jesus. We didn't know no black King James. We didn't know anything about anything that you guys were doing. We had no concept of who you guys were. We did not know English, nor Spanish, no French, no Dutch, none of those things that you guys know. That's why you see these sons of bitches succeeding. Verse 43, and the stranger that is within thee shall get above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. Who's the main character in movies and acting and sports? And who's financing it for them? They are. And he shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him, and thou shalt be the head, and he shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. That's why they say Mexico es el retrasero de Estados Unidos. It is important for them to destroy you and continue to feed you this bullshit. That's why you have dumbass idiots like this here, like that stupid ass right there, and that stupid looking damn gorilla. Because this is who they are, like that beast looking thing right there. And this right here. This is why they don't like Joshua. So like, for example, this right here, Captain Taserface right here. You think this guy's not white? You telling me he's full black? No, bro. Stop it. Just like this man. His father's a white man. His great-great-grandfather's a white man. Oh, that doesn't matter to you? His father's a white man. His father's a white man. His father's a white man. His father's more likely a white man. Him and him are not that too far apart. We see a typical tradition like Nate the Snake. So you can't come and lie to me and try to tell me some shit here, because quite frankly, even in your own times, this is from the book, I'm almost going to be done, A New Voice to Little Italy, 1739, written, I believe. It says on page 42 or something, he's trying to prove if the white and black Jews are really Jews. This is a white man, and he says and concludes, the answer I have then to make you in few words about this affair is that these Jews have furnished me with nothing. Nothing. Have furnished me with nothing that one can draw any use from. And indeed, what could they say to Christians like himself that the Christians do not already know as well as they? Like, they know what's going on. They know you so-called black Jews or white Jews, you're not really the people, because you don't even know how to speak the language. You don't even know your history. Even this day, you've been trying to steal this heritage, and it no te queda, way. The shoes don't fit. The shirt you don't look good in it. You've been trying to be us for some time, bro. And the fact is, it doesn't fit you. Indeed, what could they say to Christians that the Christians do not already know as well as they? Have they any secret source or any immediate revelation? Who are those people that pretend to teach each other? On the contrary, they are a poor sort of creatures, beast, base men, so filled with false notions, so conceited of their monstrous ideas that they're real Jews, like these BHIs trying to tell black people, you ain't the real Jews of the Bible, Ak. And Khazars are trying to tell everybody that they're the chosen people. Well, guess what? It says here, there are a poor sort of creatures, so filled with false notions, so conceited of their monstrous ideas, that I would never advise young people to have any commerce with them for the fear of receiving from them some ridiculous prejudice. Don't they say they're the people of the Bible? Don't they even say they want to include you as their chart? But no, sorry, you're a fucking beaner, and you're Issachar, you're a donkey, you're a silly dove, you're no good kings. We're black. And guess what? You used to look like us, but you don't look like us no more because you mixed with the white man. So you're very incorruptible. But you know what? When the Messiah returns, you're going to look like us, and you're going to have woolly hair, and you're going to fly around. That's what they're teaching. But on the contrary, my brothers and sisters, this is from a book I have called, I'm going to show you real quick. I'm almost done. Seriously, I'm almost done. I mean it, I'm almost done. I'm just going to show you this last book. Discourse on the Evidence, the American Indians being the descendants of the lost tribes of Israel, delivered before Mercantile Clinton Hall by M. Noah. All right, so let's get to it real quick. This is why they want to discontinue you from your heritage. Page 7. This, however, was not a condition of American Indians when first discovered. They were a singular race of men with enlarged views of life, religion, courage, constancy, humanity, policy, eloquence, love of their familia. Why do you think I'm doing this right now? You know what time it is right now, family? It's 12:17 my time right now. Let me see, sis, what are you saying? Black and white Jesus are all about color. The real Jesus is about character, something that can't be seen with humans. That's right. I love my creator. The Jesus Jews, they're Jesuits. Words fucking uglies. I was called that by sellouts. Yeah, I understand. But this is very significant because we express and represent this. It always goes, like I said, a wicked woman is given as a portion to a wicked man. Yes, we have some wicked ass women, but for the most part, our sisters are very loving and eloquent in their ways of raising our children. The love of their families, with a proud and gallant bearing, fierce in war, and like the ancients, relentless in victory. The red men of America, bearing as they do the strongest marks of Asiatic origin, which is why I talked about the migration from the east to west, from Jerusalem all the way here. Okay? They're in their belief in one God, in the computation of time by the ceremonies of the new moon, in their divisions of the years and 4 seasons, answering to the Jewish festivals, the Feast of Flowers, the Day of Atonement, the Feast of Tabernacle, and the other religious holidays. They're having an Ark of a Covenant by the division of the nations into tribes with a chief or grand secum at the head, Mosaic institutions, the laws of sacrifice, marriages, eating certain things. Let's see. It says here, it has been generally impression, as before mentioned, that great resemblance existed between some of the religious rites of the Jews. Matter of fact, I'll say this, family. It's 2:19. I'll be done at 12:30. Just 12:19. I'll be done at 12:30. Like, we got 11 more minutes. So I'm going to enjoy the 11 more minutes that we have left. In the peculiar ceremonies of the Indians. And the belief in one great spirit had tended to strengthen his impression. Yet this mere resemblance only existed so far as to admit the belief that they possibly may have descended from the dispersed tribes or may have of Tartar or Malay origin, meaning India, or a little northern part of India, like up in Asia. James Adair, Heck, Welder, Charlevoix, Mackenzie, Bartram, Beltrami, Smith, Penn, Smith, they all agree to this of the origin that we come from. We believe in one great spirit. Luwak, Ishta, Holua, Abba, the holy fire, meaning Luwak or Ruach, the almighty ruler. Page 11. It says, thus in the sacred dance of their feast of the first fruits, they sing Alleluia or Meshiach, from the Hebrew Meshiach or Messiah, the anointed one. Yom Meshiach, he Meshiach, wa Meshiach. Thus make it Alleluia, the Meshiach or Yahuwah or Yahu. That's how we say it, Yahu, Yahu, with the H at the end. That's the way to pronounce it. Alio, Io, or Yao, you guys have heard that. They likewise sing Hawa or Hiwa, immortal soul. Shiloh, the peacemaker. You resemble those proved in Canaan. It's just a way of saying, look, the number of the Hebrew words used in their religious services. They say Chi Hakat Kana. You resemble those reproved in Canaan. And to convey the idea of criminality, they say Hakset Kanaha, the sinners of Canaan. That's why the Most High, I'm not saying I'm the Joshua, but Mary, that's where the name comes from, because there had to be a Joshua spirit to smash these Canaanites out of here. That's why they hate Joshua. They hate that spirit. They call lightning Eloah and the rumbling of thunder Ruah, from the Hebrew word Ruach. Ruach. Divide 4 seasons. The Jews do the Barak, I cannot read that, in new moons. The Indians have their ark with them. The Indians copy after their ceremonial laws of the Hebrews, mentioned by James Adair, who he said that we normally have thin lips. Obviously, not all of us. Some of us have thicker lips, of course. But that we also come in a variety of colors. That we actually use bear grease with red shoot to make sure that our tan is really nice and rich, specifically when our children are light-skinned, because we know that we're out there in the sun, so we want to make sure that we're protected. Hello, I used to do it in the summer all the time. I'd get that Hawaiian oil, and I would use that iodine to cure your cuts. I would mix it to give me that nice orange, reddish, brown tan. I ain't lying to you, family. Hey, listen, man. Look, like, I'll give you an example. I'm going to share with y'all. It's just a picture of my family, okay? Look, like my son right here. See, he's got that kind of like that golden tan, right? Right? He's got blonde hair. Well, he had blonde hair. That's me a little darker. That's my uncle. It's my wife. That's me and my wife right there. Okay? That's my father right there. That's my mom. That's me with no mustache. That's me when I was younger. See, we changed. We changed. Like, look, I'm lighter right there, but then I'm a little tan right there because that was the summer. You see my son, curly hair, right? Blondish, but then all of a sudden he gets straight, but he's got a summer tan. So in the summer, he tanned really well. So look at the difference. You see my son here, he's light-skinned, dark hair. Well, he's, here, I'll give you an example. They're older now. You see the difference. They're brothers. Same mom. You see what I'm saying, family? This is my brother right here. That's me, light skin. All right. This is my grandma. See what I'm saying? So oh, by the way, these are my two brothers right here. He's my oldest. He's like 6'1". He's like 5'11". I come from a tall family. I'm the shortest one. The point, look, my daughter right here. Look at that tan. Look at that skin tone. You see the skin tone, that nice brown tone, right? Well, my baby girl, she's not. She's light skinned. So my point being is, James the Deer identified us that we came in a variety of colors and we're beautiful people in and outside. The Jews also, we kept the Day of Atonement. The Indian natives generally, James the Deer, again, the revolution of the moon, describing the feast of harvest, the first offerings of first fruits, gave a long account of the preparation of putting their temple in proper order, generally in the latter ends of September. They observed the fast till the rising of the second sun. The ceremonies are strictly observed by the Indians. That the Great Spirit will aid with endeavors to proceed food for wife and children. The bathing, anointing, ablutions in the coldest weathers are never neglected by the Indians. And like the Jews of old, they anoint themselves with bear oil. The Mosaic prohibition of eating unclean animals. We didn't like the pigs that they brought. They abstained from eating blood, swine's flesh, eat fish without scales. The eel, the turtle, the sea cow. They deem many animals and birds impure, which you'll find that in Leviticus 11. Clean and unclean animals. Clean and unclean animals. See? Clean and unclean animals. Right? So you look all through this right here. All through this right here. You see the tortoises, right? Look, it even said the tortoises right here. I think it said it. I passed it. Peeping thing. Hold on. Did I pass it? I'm curious now. Give me a second. You can't eat nothing. Well, look. Leviticus 11:9. These shall ye eat out of all that are in the water, whatsoever hath fins and scales in the water, in the seas and in the rivers, and ye shall eat. And all that have no fins and scales in the seas and in the rivers, all of that move in the waters, of any of the living thing which is in the water, they shall be an abomination unto you. You see this? Whatever no fins or scales, you can't eat that. The eagle, you can't eat that. The raven, you can't eat that. The hawk, you can't eat that. The pelican, the swans, the creeping things, except the locust. See this right here? And the chew of the cud. See, you start seeing, you can't eat the chameleon, right? You can't eat the weasel, the mouse, the tortoise, you can't eat that. They're unclean. You see what I'm saying? You can't eat the tortoise. And it says right here that the turtle or sea cow, they deem many animals and birds to be impure, unclean. In general belief existence among the most travelers, the Indians are the descendants of the missing tribes. As you can see, this is what they want you to forget. The longer you go without knowing this is who you are, the better it is for them. Indians in the North and South America were the descendants of the missing tribes. And it says, Montesino, traveling through the evidence to the province of Kiev, found that his Indian guide was a Jew. I'm almost done. And pursuing his inquiries, discovered that the immense number lived behind the Cordillas. Francis, the name of his guide, admitted to Montesino that his God was called Adonai, which I don't think it was like that, and that he acknowledged Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob as his ancestors, and that they claimed to have descended from the tribes of Reuben. You see this, family? I'll read the last part and that's it. Acosta contended at the time, they have a tradition relative to the duelage, that they preserve the rites of circumcision, They offer the first fruits in Peru. And in Peru, they eat the pasha lamb. They believe in the resurrection, close the deal with the riches. Acosta contains the Mexican point out that the various stations are as their ancestors advanced into their countries. And it's precisely the route which they must have held had they been immigrants from Asia. I just wanted to show you this real quick. Once again, family, when I did my DNA, it pointed out that I'm from this area. My father, this father of mine, this wonderful father of mine right here. Thank you, Father. That he comes from this lineage here. Here. When Abraham migrated to Canaan, he went this route here. Okay? So it seems like we're showing direct descendants of Abraham. Based on the DNA, you know, again, it just depends if you guys really believe it. Here it shows 92%, 0.4 that I'm a native of this indigenous, beautiful land of ours. 77% Peruvian, 14% Mexican. Does it matter? Would I have believed more or less? Would I have this? No. The Most High brought me this way, and this was the education that he gave me. And you know what I'm saying? Is my uncle. He died when he was 21, so I never got to meet him. But my mom says that I kind of resemble him a little bit. If you kind of see the picture here, and then oh, my bad. It's way down there. Here. Anyhow, family, I figured I'll share a little bit with you. It's late anyways. Ain't nobody watching, so, you know. Well, hey, Sis, you may want to calm down because, you know, I know that you may deal with some personal stuff with people, but it's, you know, it's really not the time for that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. It's all good, Sis, though. Remember, this isn't to create hate or any anger, man. This is to strengthen your spirit. It's to show you that, you know, people here do care. You know what I'm saying? So, and just because they are called Mexicans, that doesn't mean they're our people. Just keep that in mind, too. Not every so-called Mexican is our people. Not every so-called Native American is our people, as you know that. I've met several natives that treated me like shit. So, again, it's neither here nor there. The point right now is if your individual walk is about repenting. If you are repenting, that's what matters the most. Anyways, all right, family, so that's all I got. I know it's late. Hopefully this was edifying. Hope you guys had a good night. Hope you guys enjoyed this so-called show. Like Chicloso likes to call the show. Shit show. A shit show, he calls it. It's just a shit show. Maybe it is a shit show. But it's my shit show. And, you know, whatever, man. It's all good, bro. All right, family, I'm going to finish it with a couple songs, and then we through, man. Y'all have a good night. Hopefully, stay strong in the Lord. Stay in the fight, fam. Don't give up. Yes, Sis, man. I love you too, Sis. All right, you take care of yourselves. I'm watchful. Yes, Sis. All right. Well, you guys have a good night, man. All right. Take care.
Oh. Yeah. Soplonas y sireneros. Sean todos bienvenidos a nada más y nada menos que el 1611. Ya, más payares que mi nieto. Últimamente tan coqueto, mandando retos al inquieto que fue mi neto. Ya se ganaron su fucking boleto contra el prieto que le recordó su nacionalidad al género completo. Si hablas de los números, yo soy tu autoridad. Y si me hablas de la fama, pues tú vas por la mitad. Quisiera encontrarte un día en la calle de verdad y romperte esa boca para que aprenda un poco de humildad. Que han cambiado el juego, que dice este cretino. No han hecho nada nuevo, estos fuman pepino. Pegar no es lo mismo que trascender, mi niño. Hasta el más joven termina siendo parte del camino. Videoclip con 40 parados a tu costado. Yo solo con los que son y esos que son contados. Par de fríos y unos dos papos luego. De haberte enterrado, jamás tuve un problema del que yo me corrí. Jamás me verás cabeceando ombligo por un fit. Jamás hablé de calle porque ella habla de mí. Y esta vez mandó a decirte lo que no quieres oír. Real motherfucker feeling on the street crazy. Demasiado crazy. Tuve que comenzar de cero y no fue fácil. Hay un ave que se llamaba Fénix, pero hoy se llama Blacksy, motherfucker. ¡Vamos ahí! 1, 2, 3, 4 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 6, 11. Perras y caballeros, alcen sus malditos dedos, muevan sus gordos traseros como Lana Rose en sus primeros videos. ¿Por qué tan hardcore, reales y tan serios? ¿Por qué tan molestos? ¿Por qué tan serios? Black Friday, black como Code y como dejaremos el aire. Black como los sueños de alguien que le braille. A quien buscas cuando quieres encontrarte. Black como tu ropa el día en el que se muera tu madre. Modo Cadillac sin freno y comenzamos sin crédito. Soy alérgico, consumo igual, no hay mucho en esta zona estéril. La volveré fértil, ni el fuego nos para, ¿verdad? Black Phoenix, a barrer con todo, hasta con la ceni. Puedo ser de todo menos family friendly. Pero ¿quién prefiere a Mickey Mouse teniendo Happy to Frenzy? Ha puesto un riñón a que este imbécil que está como ¿te acabas de decir? Hay pa' todo, ¿quedó claro? Shh, quédese callado, yo sé qué hacer de este lado. Tengo mi visión de esto, tú masticas sentado. Dubi dubi du, di lo tuyo.
A la orden, chamo. Work, work, yeah. BLACK en la casa, yo WhatsApp nigga. Venezuela, like a ring on the fingers. Hasta el fin no se rinden. Vengo con el fin de demostrar que más de uno finge. Me ven y se rinden, pues no todo es party en los findes. Ni chicas de Tinder tocándote el timbre. Where the fuck is my grinder? Una llama que no se extingue. Los business son business, pero si mienten no sirven. Ya no hay nada que decirme, casi que andando sin ver, pero invencibles simples. Wey, hustle every day, ya llegó el 666 de la liga. Rey, implantando la ley desde el game creado en la avenida. Costó trabajo estar arriba y escupieron el plato de comida. Ya conocen las leyes de vida, así que se las dejo servidas. Wey, hustle every day, ya llegó el 666 de la liga. Rey, implantando la ley desde el game creado en la avenida. Costó trabajo estar arriba y escupieron el plato de comida. Ya conocen las leyes de vida, así que se las dejo servidas.
Fucking rap, cabrón, pa' todo el fucking globo, ¿ok? Hey, me siento el jefe de jefes. El cielo me protege pues de jefe. Solo quiero efectivo, estamos activos haciendo jefe. Más artista que gallo, pero rayos llama al refer. Que en unos años tú me dirás yeser. Conozco la zona, tú buscas lo mío, me dicen flow en persona. Ey, para mí eres un sapo, sabe que eres feca y lo que ladras es broma. Aquí todos son calle, paramos on fire, cuidado si alguien reacciona. Que aunque seas un niño te pasamos el peine pa' que veas cómo funciona. Ready pa' todo, mi nivel se multiplicó. Skills a flote si Black se llamó. Black me da el code y Ram se lo tomó. Wow. A la bala suena murr, a la mala le damos un tour y no creemos en nadie. Flow me sale a convenjura, estoy controlando el área, mi música de norte a sur. Tú te estás matando solo, cabrón, ya pareces cool. Si yo llevo eso mezclándolo al género, estoy matándolo. Trabajo hasta dormido, pero igual sigo lanzándolo. Mientras yo siga vivo, voy a seguir educándolos y sacando más palos mientras sigas escuchándolo.
Soy de Perú, bandido, contento porque en esta parte del mundo he nacido. Más que orgulloso de crecer en donde yo he crecido. Me siento bendecido y aquí me quiero morir. Y la verdad, porque así será. Agradecido con la vida y con Dios que me puso aquí. Y con todo aquello que influyó para que fuera MC. Porque así yo puedo decirte gracias por mi color y yo, y también por mi idiosincrasia. Yo soy uno más que aprecia la tierra en la que nació. Aunque el género en el que me expreso por aquí no se inventó, pero que chucha, esto es pa' aquel que escucha y se mantiene en lucha con el puño arriba y la capucha. Tierra de donde gran parte siempre se quita, pero regresa pues como un niño a su madre necesita. Gobierna una política maldita donde si se enferma el que no tiene no le regalan ni las curitas. Por eso héroe no es sinónimo de progreso y no esas mierdas sentadas en el Congreso. En fin, somos de un sitio en donde nada cae del cielo, en donde muchos trabajamos desde niños hasta abuelos. Lo que siempre se
que sobresalen, soportando todo a pesar de que muchos la envenenan. Paisajes de mil colores, comidas de mil sabores, playas con arenas blanquitas, no quiero nada. Tierra de grandes señores, culturas y soñadores, gente amable que te hace pensar, yo me quedo acá. Sufrimos y nos levantamos como otros pueblos hermanos, víctimas de terroristas y tiranos que se llevaron mucho y a muchos para el carajo. Pero el peruano sabe cómo se sale de abajo. Por eso más de lo que sé y de lo que escucho, en todas partes siempre respetan a los peruchos. Y es un hecho que a la mayoría nada le complace, razón por la cual quiere ser el mejor en lo que hace. Es que así se nace cuando eres peruano. Aquí tienes de todo, pero también nada se regala, hermano. Norte, sur o centro, en donde quiera que te pares. Lo dijo Romero, el Perú es de la concha su madre. Orgulloso de mi esencia, de mi herencia. Tengo un tatuaje en la maleta que te indicará mi procedencia, para que quede bien claro de dónde es que soy. Represento a donde voy y así lo hicimos siempre hasta el sol de hoy. Esta canción yo la compuse estando lejos de mi patria y no por querer hacerme el pendejo. Desde la costa por la sierra hasta la selva somos cholos. Si tú me entiendes no permitas que yo haga este coro solo. Yo represento a los desiertos y a la montaña, aquella selva que si miras de arriba te engaña y te hace pensar que el paraíso está en el suelo, donde se refleja el cielo temprano en la mañana. Yo soy peruano así que mejor infórmese antes de juzgar a mi apariencia y mi piel morena. Aquellos seres humanos que sobresalen, soportando todo a pesar de que muchos la envenenan.
Ical, hijo, abre los ojos. Tu cuerpo se queda con nosotros, pero tu espíritu debe seguir. Busca la luz. Aléjate de las sombras. Deja que nuestro dolor sea tu fuerza. Desde aquí iluminamos tu camino. Lucha como nosotros ante esta pena tan grande. Yo soy tú. Tú eres yo. La muerte que hoy nos separa, mañana volverá a unirnos. Eres libre, hijo.